happy about is that there was a leak of all the processes and the dockets and everything on social media, and we are confident that that leak did not emanate from our fold as OSP. The question is, where did that leak come from? So the OSP in a statement appears to be saying that that office is a bit wary of the leaks. But what is really holding the matter of Ken Ofori-Atta? Has it been formally charged? What is the process for extraditing somebody? And are we sure that Ken Ofori-Atta indeed is in the US? What if he is moved from that country to another country? What is the process? What do we do? Do you trust that the OSP is doing a good job, or will do a good job in respect of this? Or you think the Attorney General is better placed to deal with this matter of Ken Ofori-Atta? Ken Ofori-Atta is being wanted to answer to some 5 cases, key amongst that being the famous or infamous National Cathedral matter. We'll delve into some of these as the show grows. Also, the Attorney General this week met the press at the Government Accountability Series, where he said a number of things. He called something the Rumble in the Jungle, which has to do with the buffer stock case. He says that some 78 million or so was transferred by the former chief executive, Hanan, into various accounts connected to himself. Said quite a number of things. He paints a picture that he is on top of his game and investigations and prosecutions are ongoing. Is that what we called for? The oral and all of that? Of course, he said the oral collated information, and his job is to ensure that investigations are done on those so they'll be worthy of court and prosecution, and that he is on track. He promises to file some more charges and put some more people before court in respect of several investigations he is doing. In essence, he is on course as far as the oral agenda is concerned. These are the matters that will be engaging our attention this morning on the big issue. I will take a short break. I'll return. I'll provide some updates, introduce my guests, and then we'll get a discussion underway. This is a big issue. You're welcome.
The alumni of Sweeter Secondary School, Swesco, invites you to the annual all-year group awards and dinner dance. Relive the memories, reconnect with friends. The Old Swesconians annual year group awards and dinner dance is here. Join us on November 1st at 5 p.m. at the beautiful Channel 1 TV Gardens in Tesano. For just 500 Ghana cedis per head, enjoy an evening of dinner, music, and nostalgia. Don't miss the reunion of the year. The Old Swesconians annual all-year group awards and dinner dance is on the 1st of November 2025 at 5 p.m. at the Channel 1 TV Garden. Contact your year group or chapter president and get your tickets. Sepulchrum Optimus, always with the best.
Yeah, welcome back. This is The Big Issue. We are live on 97.3 City FM. We're on Channel 1 Television. We're also on our socials, on YouTube specifically. And you can join the discussion. You send your comments to us regarding the discussion. We'll be happy to read them out to the rest of the world. We're on WhatsApp on 020-444-7033, and that will be displayed on your screen for those of you watching on television, or 0549-986-996 for your thoughts on any of the matters. 3 key issues we are looking at. The first one has to do with the passing of Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, the longest-serving First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, wife of former President Rawlings. Indeed, it's the end of an era. She passed a couple of days ago, and we want to pay our own tribute to her on the show this morning, assess her contribution to the politics of Ghana, women development, etc. After that, we'll look at the growing tussle, or the seeming tussle between the Office of the Attorney General and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The Office of the Special Prosecutor is dealing with a number of cases or investigation on a number of cases regarding Ken Ofori-Atta, former Finance Minister. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, former, has been invited by the Office of the Special Prosecutor a number of times. He keeps changing the dates because he says he's not well. The last time he says he was going to come back to the country, hopefully by June or something. We are in October. And so there are processes, or there should be processes ordinarily, to extradite him to come face the charges in Ghana. That appears to be an issue. Office of the Special Prosecutor claims it is working on it. Attorney General says that Office of the Special Prosecutor is not forthcoming, delaying in transmitting the docket to the Attorney General. And indeed, by law, Attorney General is the body, or the Office of the Attorney General is the body to initiate or trigger the extradition processes. So the Attorney General says they have no docket to start the process with. Office of the Special Prosecutor says they've expanded the scope of the investigation because of a recent raid or investigation at the office of the SML, which is part of the cases Ken Ofori-Atta is wanted to answer or is being wanted for. So we do not even understand where the matters are, but the OSP insists that it's on track, it's following the processes as it were, and that they have spoken or written to the Chief of Staff. Chief of Staff transmitted to the Attorney General's office for the process to start. Has he been charged, and what will be the charges be? His lawyers insist that he's not well and that once he's well, he will come to Ghana. But can we wait? The sovereign people of Ghana want him, same as others, to come and answer charges or answer to the questions that the state or republic may have against him. What do you think? Should Ken Ofori-Atta be given some time to properly recover from his illness or ailment, so when he comes to Ghana, we know that we are dealing with a fully fit person? Or you think that no matter his circumstance, he should be brought to Ghana to face charges? Your views will be interesting to read. Let me provide some updates. Now, former First Lady of Ghana, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, has died at the Ridge Hospital, Accra, at the age of 76. The wife of the former President, Jerry John Rawlings, was Ghana's longest-serving First Lady, holding the position during both the AFRC and the PNDC eras from 79, again 81 to 93, and then also through the Democratic era to 2001. Tributes have been pouring in from across the country, describing her as a bold, visionary, and trailblazing leader who championed women's rights and national development. There is more in the following report.
A day after the passing of the former First Lady, the atmosphere at the Rawlings residence in Accra remained somber. Scores of mourners, including notable figures and members of the general public, visited to commiserate with the bereaved family. Among the dignitaries were former Presidents John Agyekum Kufuor and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as well as the Chief of Staff Julius Debra and former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Former President Kufuor described Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings as an integral part of Ghana's political history, recalling moments from his interactions with the Rawlings-led administration.
Ghana so assume Ghana crime be so far. Then ultimately draw Ghana history or Abraham Indonesia. Now the life on any Ibiasa season. We are saying Obiaba, Obia the agenda neighbor, Yamimo Obia the gift. Who says Aquan is now who's in Yadu, but quite cheap, who do high in society. Audrey, in the making of our nation, Ghana, no? She acquitted herself.
Former President Akufo-Addo, visibly devastated, reflected on his personal friendship with the late former First Lady, describing her as a dear friend and strong personality.
This is a Ghana in your bopo. Every time, ho. I require between a zero. And I'm missing about it. Where Madame Fo
National chairman of the governing NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who led the party's leadership to the residents, described her passing as a great loss, noting her instrumental role in the formation of the NDC.
NDC. Mameno, I can't go near NDC Kono. Rooms actually a Kote party for Friday. By history or hot day, you wouldn't say, or can on near tea Kono. Inti party no Ashiradi. O my Ghana, so Ubia Magana, what be the first lady, 19 years. This is a mammy Konadu.
Minority leader Alexander Apenyomaken, who joined Parliament's leadership delegation, also paid tribute to the Nakunedu's tireless advocacy for women's empowerment and her contribution to Ghana's affirmative action legislation.
Made the office of the First Lady a formidable office with her empowerment initiatives for women and girls. She played a lead role in the PNDC law that dealt with issues of interstate succession. In our constitution, she's profoundly known for her active role in getting the affirmative action provisions.
Meanwhile, the government's 3-day national mourning continues until Sunday, October 26, with all flags flying at half-mast nationwide and at Ghana's missions abroad.
All right, so that was a report on the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, who died earlier in the week at age 76. My guest for today's program, Nana E.J. Bafwewa, Member of Parliament for Menchia South. My good friend, Andrew Appiah-Dankwa, is a legal director of the UP. So now that's a new role, legal director.
But you know, the UP is known to be a tradition of bold people.
Yeah, so they are bold to move from the MPP.
No, they haven't shown
when
it.
the party was in power. That's boldness.
Their leadership haven't shown it.
No, but to leave a party when the party is in power,
no, they are not.
That's boldness.
They know they are not. They know they are not. UP is a tradition of bold people, courageous men.
But that's what they've done.
That have stood the test of time.
Yeah.
You don't run away.
No, you don't. Did Nkrumah run away from UGCC? He didn't run away. But he was filled with conviction.
Nkrumah went away.
Yes.
Knowing very well that he would do very well.
No, but are you
the
in
choice
your
of
head, or are you God?
The butterfly.
Yes.
What is the lifespan of the butterfly?
No, they talk about transition. No, Charlie, you take me as your spokesperson.
Exactly. So
they run away.
No, you see, the reason why you should do politics ultimately should be the interest of the country.
Yes.
And you join a political party believing that that political party is there to advance the cause of the country. So where you are convinced, that political party's character has been altered to the extent that is now very parochial, generally, is now very parochial in nature.
I'm not busy continuing to be there.
Exactly.
Okay,
You understand? And in fact,
we just started the show. We are just introducing guests.
What my other friend is even saying even makes me more
convinced of the decision you took.
and the boldness. No, he was not bold because he said that Nkrumah took a step knowing that he was going to win. And that we are taking a step not believing that we are going to win. And
you chicken out.
And
Nkrumah didn't chicken out. You chicken out.
Nkrumah left the UGC.
You were in a race. You were in a race.
No.
You were in a race.
No, but a race, they say.
No. You see, when we became convinced, you understand, that they've altered their characters to the extent that we can't identify. And we're talking about the butterfly. You see, when you are analyzing the butterfly, you should analyze the butterfly as a species. The individual butterfly has a lifespan of about 2 weeks. But the butterfly as a species, you see, we'll outlive the elephant.
So now you have become entomologists and zoologists.
Yeah, because you see, when you take an individual butterfly, you are then there's a problem with the analysis. You must take the butterfly as a species, and as a species, as things stands now,
you have become entomologists.
The elephant is endangered.
All right, so that's Nana J. Bapo, MP, Mensah South for MPP. Andrew Apia Dankwa, Director Legal for the UP. Nick Pako Samoado, member of the NDC legal team. Franklin Kujo, President in Mani Africa, and Senyo Hosi, convener of the One Ghana movement. This are my guests this morning. Gentlemen, even though you have spoken already, formally, let me greet you. Good morning to you.
Thank you.
All right, so this week we're hit by some bad news. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, even though she's quite old, she was quite old at age 76. Of course, we always want our people to be with us, our best people to be with us. She has now gone to be with the Lord. She's passed. And indeed, that ends an era. Your thoughts generally on that? I'll start with you, Nana. Some of your colleagues were in the house. I don't know whether you were there, minority, to commiserate with the family and all of that. What will you say, or what are your fondest memories of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings and what she stood for?
Thank you for having me. Unfortunately, I couldn't go with my colleagues because a polling station executive of mine had lost her daughter. So I'd gone to Kumasi for the funeral. And my colleagues, at the time my colleagues went. And so unfortunately I couldn't go. But it was a very unfortunate news, least expected. I had been informed by a colleague of mine that on Thursday he had been at a rich church for the burial service of Mrs. Ifa, wife of Mr. Ifa, mother of Mr. Ifa. When he saw Nana Konadu there, and so he least expected this to happen.
So she was hale hearty moving around.
Exactly, and so we're all surprised that it had happened. But it's a reminder of our mortality, that whatever we are doing, one day will go, and will go when we don't know exactly the day, the time, the place where it is going to happen. It's a reminder that it is not about how long you live, but the impact you make. When you look at Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, by reason of her husband having been the longest serving president, you can also say that she was the longest serving first lady in the history of this country. Her impact, you would want to say, remain unmeasurable, particularly in the area of women empowerment. I don't think there is any first lady in the history of this country that has led, or there is any woman in the history of this country since Yasantua that has led women empowerment in the manner which Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings did. In fact, if you even take it from the perspective of the role of First Lady, she modernized it and gave us the role as it has come to be known. In fact, in the history of this country, I again dare say that there hasn't been any First Lady who has been so impactful as Nana Konadu was. Take it from, I've mentioned women empowerment, take your girl child to school, if you recall. Nana Konadu came to the scene at the time when the general notion was that education was for men and wasn't for women. And so it was, it was rare to see women taking keen interest in education or men pushing their daughters to go to school, at the levels that we are seeing today. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings was very instrumental, if not, leading it in making sure that female education became the norm and not the exception. When it comes to women empowerment, from the uneducated women to the educated women, we remember Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings leading empowerment of the uneducated women by, equipping them with skills like the Gary making through her 31st December Women's Movement, providing daycare centers that would train women, the children of women who are at the market and so on and so on. She was quite innovative. Think about it. I mean, placing or positioning daycare centers in markets to take care of children
while the mothers sold
mothers, to take care of children whilst the mothers sold on the market. I think that was quite innovative. At the time, I don't think we really, looked at it from that angle because of the politics, the political climate at the time. But on hindsight, you could tell the innovation. Beyond that, we also saw the introduction of the Intestate Succession Act, which she championed to ensure that women were not shortchanged in the distribution of the assets of their husbands. If I say I'm going to sit here and list all of them, perhaps this program might turn into a program all about Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. We need to be candid, irrespective of our political differences. Her contribution has been very, very impactful. Yesterday, for me, was very symbolic. Seeing that the minority and the majority converged in the house of Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. I listened to General Asiedu Nketia, his speech about the country rallying together, uniting to give her a befitting burial. For me, was very, very symbolic. Seeing Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, seeing President Kufuor there was historic. And I'll tell you why it's historic. Sometimes we forget our history. And that, for me, is one of the reasons why we are struggling as a nation. Because, you see, you can't move forward if you don't know where you are coming from. And so history is very fundamental in national development. And for those who, perhaps the millennials, or if you like the Gen Zs, they may not have witnessed what we saw in this country prior to 1992. All these characters were enemies. Political enemies, quote and unquote.
Yes, enemies.
Yes. But today, we can all come together under one roof. I mean, remember Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings famously saying that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was not a lawyer. If you recall that incident. Remember President Kufuor, when he took over, one of the people that were prosecuted, was Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Carried them. If you recall, President Rawlings was always up in arms, against with President Kufuor. And today, all those things have gone out, right? And seeing them gather together to mourn Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings is a reminder of where we have come as a country. But for the young generation to appreciate where we have come as a country, particularly those who are always clamoring for military intervention, we need to always highlight our history. And the history will teach us very useful lessons, right? That where we find ourselves might not be all glorious, might not be all honey, lovey-dovey, but it is certainly better than where we have come from.
I see.
And so yesterday was very symbolic. And I think it was symbolic also because when I saw President Kufuor speak, I had goosebumps. And we need to celebrate President Kufuor, particularly whilst he's also alive, because the turnaround came with his leadership from 2001, when he set up the National Reconciliation Commission. I think it was from there on that the foundation set by him was built upon. And so today we are where we are because of the contribution of people like him, particularly the leadership he provided at the time. And so let's celebrate President Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings for the magnificent work that she did. Jesus Christ lived for 33 years, right? But more books have been written about him than any other person. And so let's celebrate Nana Konadu's achievements. Let's celebrate President Kufuor whilst he's alive. Let's celebrate President Akufo-Addo. he might not have been the best, but he also built something, played a role, right? Everybody will play a role. Today, we have forgotten what perhaps happened with Nana Konadu, perhaps happened with President Jerry John Rawlings, and we are looking at the good side. Let's begin to look at the good sides of all these people whilst they are alive, and the future will be bright. Thank you very much.
I see. Andrew, I hadn't seen any first lady. Of course, Sani Hosi is in the studio now. I hadn't seen any first lady. I don't know about you.
You have to tell everybody I'm late.
No,
I'll make time for you today.
No, not really. No, not really. I hadn't seen any other first lady. I mean, so the one I saw, and I'm sure it holds true for almost everybody around the table, was Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. How pivotal was her role in redefining the office of the first lady? You know, she was all over the place on GTV almost every single day. She was in the news doing one thing or the other.
GBC.
Sorry, GBC. So I mean, how pivotal was her role in defining that office and all the things we've come to see afterwards?
Yeah. So let me wish your lovely viewers a good morning.
And I take note that you're a Liverpool.
Yeah, I think
it's a revival move.
Oh, what was there to revive? We are champions of England.
No problem.
Yeah. I was a privilege to share this platform with my learners here. As in, Baf was always very nice to me when I joined the bar. I hope he remembers. As in, always encouraged the young ones when we came in. I always hold him in high esteem. Yeah, pleasure. And I've met my long lost Akunta. Yeah, so Senor,
he was at my wedding.
Oh, I see.
Nice. Wife is like a sister to me. So I consider him an Akunta.
He didn't come the last one.
Yeah.
You should have been really right.
You appear to have a lot of Akuntas because John Daku too.
Yeah, John Daku is my Akunta. John Daku is my Akunta. Yeah, I've played Akunta.
Are you a polygamous man or something?
My father was proudly polygamous. So,
should we take inspiration from him?
I think we should.
You should for the cash today.
Yeah, so I stand on all fours with what my learning senior here said. I think the best word I can use to describe Nana Konadu's contribution to the development of this country is to use the word the pioneer. Because if there's one thing that our country has never lacked, and rightly my senior made reference to Ya Asantewaa, what we've never lacked are great women. So you can mention Ya Asantewaa, you can mention Susan Ufoyata, the second medical doctor produced in West Africa. You can mention Annie Jage, the first judge in the whole of the High Court judge in the whole of the Commonwealth. And for us to consider Nana Konadu as a pioneer, as it tells you the extent of impact on this country. You know, I grew up in the 80s. I'm an 80s. I'm sure we are all, apart from probably my senior, we are all 80s boys. Because my first experience of Ghana was in the 80s, and during that time, days of Chairman Rawlings and Nana Konadu, to think that she would use the power she had, because she was very powerful. To use the power she had to...
Or she became powerful because she knew the power that was there in that role. You don't know how the other first ladies
she was a politician, unlike all the other first ladies. We need to understand that. She was African Hall President. I think she was Vice President in the... SRC General Secretary. Okay. So she was an activist, you understand. But to think that she will use her appreciation and standing of power, of political power, to change the course of how women were seen and to empower women, for me, is remarkable. And I think we have not celebrated her enough, as in we've allowed partisanship to more or less blind our honest appreciation of a person like Nana Konadu. Yesterday, former President Kufuor said that her name will be written in granite. I want to add gold. Her name will be written in gold when the story of Ghana was being told, as is being told. As I mentioned, the interstate succession law, we as in 1992 Constitution is seen with a lot of affirmative action clauses in them, and we would not have had these. We would not have seen the empowerment of women. We would not have seen the words of Agri come to life. You know, Agri said, if you, a woman, you actually educate a whole nation. You understand? To think that Konadu herself being an Accra is an embodiment and a clear example of the words of Agri. So, I think there's an opportunity for all of us to come together as a nation. We have to celebrate it. We are mourning, but we have to celebrate it. And I think all the wonderful women that our country has produced, all the great women, the fact that we have a first vice president, the fact that very soon we may have a first female president of this land, are all lay credence to the works of Nana Konadu. And as much as we mourn, I think that this period for me should be an opportunity for all of us to celebrate her, and for all of us to use the opportunity to come together as a nation and do our politics well. I think I want to add this, that my brother here is talking about boldness, and I think you need boldness to do your politics.
I think she when she formed her party, one of the slogans or motto was be bold. Yeah.
So you may disagree with her, but I respect her strength of conviction. The fact that she being a founding member of the NDC, and when she believed, whether she was right, whether she was wrong, she believed that the party was charting the wrong course, had the courage of conviction to come out and challenge the system to the extent of even forming her own party. We need a politics where we have more people who are ready to put the interests of the nation first, even ahead of their party's interests. And I think Nana Konadu represented all of that. So, yes, her soul certainly rest in peace. But the people of Ghana must come together and celebrate this patriot.
Interesting. Senor, taking it from here, her legacy and the formation of her own party when she felt the NDC, which she helped form, was drifting away from maybe the values she considered were being debased, I mean, in the words. Do you think that those things she did, leaving the party, etc., would dent her legacy in terms of the formation of the NDC and all that she did with people? Because ordinarily, you would have expected the NDC to rally around her. Of course, they are doing that, but perhaps the story would have been different if she hadn't left the party, remained the mother of the party, as it were, and this happened. What happens? What do you think the NDC especially will say of her legacy? Of course, as Nkiti has said, her place in history is cemented, etc. But her last few days or years, do you think what she did in respect of forming a new party, leaving, saying things about the NDC, etc., would dent that legacy or reputation a bit?
Yeah, good morning to viewers and listeners. For starters, which will now be routine of me, I want to call on the government to please tell us where the kingpins are of Galamsey. Maraku, kingpins are, what were they? Galamsey kingpins, no, Omuwahe. Galamsey kingpins, Ingbenye. So I don't think Nana Konadu wants us to have a life without the Galamsey kingpins court. So we have to remind the government every Saturday. I don't have to be here, Salon. You must remind the government that we are still waiting for the kingpins. Kingpins are, what were they? Good morning.
Good morning. I see.
Nana Konadu's place cannot be dented by her move away from the NDC or not. Her impact transcends her party. The millions of women who benefited from her activism, her advocacy, were not painted in party colors. Those who benefit from the interstate succession law, the sanity, normalcy, their lives, their families that have been reshaped by virtue of that particular intervention. You don't go and look for who is NDC or who is MPP. Forget it. It is the last conversation anybody should want to waste time on. This woman did not just follow the path of being a first lady. She carved it. She redefined it. I wasn't privileged to see Fatia Nkrumah, but we all heard the stories from our parents. She was an elegant woman. She was adored, admired, but kept in that place. This woman did not sit. she was one who understood what political power could do, and she used it. She took advantage of her influence and influenced time. Time in a way that perpetuates her relevance in our society and in our national dialogue any day. It has nothing to do with whether she left the party or didn't leave the party. Konadu is not the type that could have stayed in the party because she's not the type that can stay silent. She's not the type that cannot accept being ignored or not being heard. She's not passive. And that's her. You have to accept her for who she is. All right? She's not Teresa Kufuor. She's not Mama Lodina. She's not Nadu Mills. She's not a passive person. So there was no way.
She didn't
when she
recognize...
ideologically also feeling and considering herself a founder of the party, is at variance with the times and the practices and the culture or emerging culture of the time, she will not just keep quiet. And if she can't feel like she is having her impact, she would move. That was her. It was no secret that there was only so much that Jerry could control her over. Let's speak the truth. It was one person that anybody knew could really keep Jerry under wraps or under a big control. Everybody knew it was Nana Konadu. She was a powerful woman, and I agree with you. The next we could, but I mean, she's absolutely the Yaa Asantewaa of our time. And she did not just do it to just exercise power irrationally. She impacted lives. The 2 million women were impacted by that. The girl child story today, that today we can talk about girl child and everybody, it was her. It was not. You see, people have forgotten you. People see Ghana today, they think that this is not Ghana. We have come from far. We have come from women not even being entitled to wear jeans and it being a sin. To today, the things that people wear.
The women use pad.
They use pad. And it was, people did not use, I'm on sin.
And you attribute that to her or to
she was part of it.
To development.
Her advocacy was fierce. Today you come and see always, the best part crowd that was in this country was Vites. Who uses Vites? I'm telling you, we have come from far. But it had to take people to stand in the gap and force a transformation in our cultural orientation to put rightly the place of women in our society. And Nana Konadu was there. She did it. She did it. But today, we see a lot of these things as normal and we feel entitled to it. Society didn't give you those entitlements. Your economic place at home was not that fierce and strong. She made that relevance. She made it count. If it wasn't Nana Konadu who knew about Beijing conference, where we started proper feminist activism in this country.
Incidentally, there was a milestone of that conference marked the week before. President Mahama was there, and he made reference to the role Nana Konadu and co played, in the Beijing conference of '95.
She was not a symbol and an advocate just for women in Ghana. Across Africa. She became a symbol, an example of what a first lady could do and could become. Unfortunately, because she is fierce, she is forward and she's very present. That's her. It also rubs negatively. With every force in physics, will tell you there's an opposite and equal reaction. She also got the same reaction. That one, they don't lie you. So you won't find that kind of problem with Teresa Kufuor.
Will you describe her as a controversial figure?
She never shied away from controversy. She actually loves to be in the center of it. That's her. And she does it because she's trying to shape the narrative and how society's path
and
based on her honest conviction.
Whilst we're celebrating, a part of the analysis should also include what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so one of the things people have said was that she failed to transition, with the changing times. So, for example, she was no longer in the center, but she always wanted to be in the center, and that was obviously going to be a problem, including comments she made about Professor Musu was now the man in the center, etc., etc. You had played your role for about 19 years. Somebody else is in the seat, and all those things. Even Kufuor suffered it. Her failure to transition from the limelight to the place that history had given her at the time.
Look, my brother, it's a matter of choice. But it's easy for us to second guess people any day. You need to be in the heat to really understand and relate to certain things. You know, just side joke, a friend of mine who complains a bit about these siren things that my brother's political friends
is using it now.
They are using, no, he's a good man.
No, not him, I'm your friend.
If I catch him, I'll deal with him. I'll stop him.
You do the war against
Now, today, the guy had some motorcade taking him. He said, hey, Charlie, president, whatever, I'm telling you, you need to experience power to be able to relate to the challenges of power and the constraints of even trying to get yourself out of power. It's not an easy thing. There's something about responsibility. There's something about a certain orientation where you feel that once you have that power, you can make a certain transformation. When people have it and you don't have the influence in it, it frustrates you, it eats you up. And if you are that passionate about that conviction, it will shape your behavior. But I agree with you. A certain level of higher level emotional intelligence may have helped. But that was her. What I loved about her is that she was never fake. She tells you what she thinks. You don't need to agree with her, but you know where she stands. You understand? But yes, a certain tact may have helped, but it's easy for us to sit here today and second guess. But for somebody who has been at the forefront, fighting for a certain transformation, social transformation, upliftment for people, not just women, but for people, for families, for children. She was a major advocate for children as well. We're talking about women. We forget that she was a major advocate for children, children's rights, children's place. And that's why we talk about that right to education. You see, when you've been there and you've lived a philosophy, there's a certain orientation. You have seen people killed for a certain kind of advocacy and principle that you think you stood for during June 4th, during the 81st revolution, the 31st December revolution, for which reason you even name your whole organization around. And you come and see that the culture and everything is changing, the orientation is changing. It is something you be passionate about, something that will eat you. The dream that you have, you feel it's dying in your face. That's what was happening to the Rawlingses.
I see.
They were struggling with the loss of influence and power. They were struggling with the death, in their opinion, of the ideals of a political movement and orientation that they lived and died for.
Very well.
Salom, if I may, quick.
Okay, so the quick one.
So when you say she was a controversial figure, very respectfully, within the context, I may not be able to disagree with you. Because Nana Konadu emerged 24 years after independence, a country which is set within proper tradition. One of the traditions of this country was women being, like he said, consigned to the background.
Very passive.
In fact, hardly would even in a matrimonial home would you have the woman come to sit in a meeting or a discussion between her husband and
others.
But here was a woman who was ready to lead side by side with her husband.
Yes. We'll make her come across.
Of course. So clearly, within the context of the time, Nana Konadu was a controversial figure. But on hindsight, it was a pivotal role that has given us results. Transformed women education, transformed women empowerment, transformed child education, and so on and so forth. And so within the context of the time, yes, but the results, very respectfully. Please.
Will you say same of her last few years? I mean, falling out with her own political party, etc. Would that controversy be pivotal to anything, and if anything at all, to what?
Like we say,
that was politically suicidal.
No. It's you see,
or not strategic.
It's who she is or who she was that put her where she ended, and it was unavoidable. In literature,
it was unavoidable that she could not see herself moving on. That no, the spotlight was no more on me. So let me take a rather dignified role of a mother of a party. So, I mean, I'll have that recognition. Going to stand against a party's candidate, sitting president, all of that, the Fonka games and all of those, people think, chipped away a bit of the glory and the reverence she commanded within the party.
You know, if you look at who she was, I have always believed that all of us, one way or the other, God has put in us some things that would cause our rise, and those things will equally cause the end of our era. And I think that was who she was. I mean, that's how God made her. And so she played her role. It came to an end when her maker wanted that role to come to an end. And so I would not sit here and judge her. Perhaps history and academics will look at it, analyze it, and take a different view like you want. But I think that she was just made for her time. And she ended where she had to end.
And she lived it.
And she lived it.
The final one on this. Her children, I mean, of course, Senator is an MP. You think her children should be more involved in national affairs? Of course, Nkrumah's children came in very late. We saw Samia, but the party was not really anything you could galvanize and revamp. The NDC is in power. NDC is a formidable force today, just like the NPP, the two parties, and UP coming, you know, and all of that. You think the children should be more interested in politics to further the job their parents did?
No, we shouldn't force them. We should let them be. Whatever role they want to play in Ghana, they should be allowed to play.
If you want to be private citizens,
yes, because you see, we all have our choices. Today, you are a lawyer. Some of your children may want to be lawyers, some may not want to be. Right? Great footballers have not always had great footballers as children. And so we should let them be. Except that those that have taken interest, like Dr. Ezenato, I expect the leaders of the party to remember the role their father played in making them who they are today, and to also assist them, right? For instance, when President Mahama constituted his government, I was surprised not to have seen Ezenato there. I was surprised not to have seen Professor Mills's brother in there. You see, sometimes it's a sign of appreciation.
Not competence.
No, I mean these persons.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You are not just saying.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. How many people? How many of President Mohammed's ministers? Very respectfully, I respect all of them. Right? How many of them are more competent than Dr. Zenato? In terms of exposure, in terms of experience, right? How many of them? And so when she's not in President Mohammed's government, you would be asking questions. Some of us think that, look, it will be a sign of appreciation for President Mohammed to even make a conscious effort to impact someone like Ezenato. It will be a sign of appreciation for President Mohammed to impact someone like Dr. Atta Mills. And so those that want to be politicians, the people within NDC who were mentored and made by President J.J. Rawlings and Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings should extend the same grace to them.
I see.
That goes
just a
without
quick
saying.
one.
That absolutely goes without saying. I'm not too related by what we see, but there may be other things that we don't know. So that's the only reason why we sort of give the government the benefit of the doubt. The Rawlingses are a very defining feature of the entire NDC culture, the NDC tradition, its formation, and all. We can't just wish it as though it never was. As a country, yes, we must celebrate the family for what it's achieved. Some also find the family disruptive. That's understandable. But however it is, they sat on those seats. The family sacrificed something for this country. And there are very good things to look at, including the current stability we find under our Fourth Republic. I think we should give some credit in there. So I agree with him. I agree with Bafo that it's quite concerning when you see the absence of the likes of Cadman Mills, you look at the absence of the likes of Zenato in the executive. It is a big concern. But I'm very excited about Zenato. She always showed that as a child. We always used to watch her when she was trying to fly a plane and all that.
Yeah, and Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence, all those. It was beautiful, even though we also acknowledge that it was excessive privilege. Let's be honest with it, It was excessive privilege. It was excessive privilege. But she's still stepped up. She didn't just get lost. She went to Achimota, I guess. Primary. Wesley Girls. Unfortunately, we didn't see her in our university. It was one of my disappointments with Rawlings. Because you can't be running an educational system and taking your children outside. What are you telling us here? You understand? But
our presidents, haven't done that.
These are the questions that you have to start putting before our people. The politicians will sit there and create the free SHS. They create the double track. They have 3 years this year, next time 4 years. Every day, depending on which color is sitting there, your years will change. Do their children go there? Go to cabinet and look for all the people on cabinet now. And look at those who are on cabinet in the previous, and go and look for where their children go to school. They go to the GISs, they go to the EAIS, the SOS, the RAGE, and all that. Then they'll be the ones sitting there making policy for other people. When they themselves, they don't suffer it. They
don't believe in the policy.
If you don't suffer with the people, you cannot connect and solve their problem properly. You understand? Exactly. This is a problem. That's one of the bad. That's a side matter. But she's stepping up to hold a gap for the family is something that I think we should commend and encourage. And I actually look forward to her following after her mom. And one day running for president.
I see.
Yeah.
Your final thoughts on this one. The children and all of that.
Also, I think I agree with them. Exata was actually my senior in Atota primary school, and Yasota was my mate. Exata was a natural leader. I think she still exhibits that natural.
Identification haircut.
She was just a mate.
No, just a mate. No, I think when that haircut came, she was in Wesley Girls, I think.
No. She was a mature person.
She was
a grown up.
The haircut came around 90 something, 99.
Because you were last week at Santua, just in case you.
No, I didn't try anything. I didn't try anything. Yeah, but I've not believed in things being handed over. This is a republic, it's not a monarch. I think the president ought to have the space to choose his own cabinet. So for me, I don't stand with the view that only because she's a daughter of Rawlings. But having said that, I think her competence isn't in doubt, her leadership skill isn't in doubt, and I think that Ghanaians recognize that. I think the party itself will recognize that, and in due course, I won't be surprised at all if she puts herself up for presidency. But I don't think we should put any pressure on His Excellency Jomama to appoint her only because she's the daughter of J.J. Rawlings.
I see. Great. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll get into the other matters of the AG and the OSP, Ken, Extradition, etc. This is the big issue on 97.3 City FM on Channel 1 television. We're live and interactive, 020-444-7033. That is displayed on your screen as well. I'll be happy to read your messages when we get back. Don't go away.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244-644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valix Lease, affordable document management solutions.
This November, something amazing is coming to Accra. Are you a farmer with fresh produce? Are you into fish farming, poultry, or livestock? Then get ready for the November edition of the AgriFair 2025. Yes, AgriFair 2025. It's happening on Friday the 28th to Sunday the 30th of November. It's happening at the A4 Southern Children's Park, and it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. It's the ultimate weekend marketplace. From fruits and vegetables to poultry, livestock and fish to agri-inputs and processing machinery, all at unbeatable farm gate prices. Whether you're selling or buying, this is your chance to connect, trade and grow. Enjoy the freshest farm produce, sizzling kebabs, and a vibrant marketplace atmosphere all in one space. Register now and secure your spot. Call 0558-973-973 for more information. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM.
The greatest impairment for every person with autism has to do with communication difficulty, behavior issues, and challenges in interacting with people.
EdTech is critical using your KCC model, KIT Content Confidence.
For me, as a visually impaired person, if you produce your document in print and I want to read it, either have to scan it, and that is technology, so that it can come into a speech format.
How can we get inclusive education for all?
When it comes to learners with disability, there's so much barrier. There should be 3 things I want to emphasize.
If these things are not provided to support a child with autism or a person with autism, it makes life very frustrating.
It will enhance their social interaction through virtual meetings.
Watch EdTech Mondays on Mondays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Mest Africa, only on Channel 1 TV.
Yeah, welcome back. This is a big issue. We're now moving on to the AG and OSP matter. But of course, Nipapo, someone is just in, and it's just fair that we give him a minute on Nana Konadu. So, Nipapo, a quick one on Nana Konadu, then we'll move on.
Good morning to your wonderful listeners and viewers. I think the statement made or issued by the General Secretary of the NDC was quite apt, and it captured the essence of what the NDC felt about the departed Nana Konadu. You know, in describing her as the mother of the NDC, I thought that was very reconciliatory on the part of the party. Because, yes, she left with the NDP. But if there has been anyone who has defined what it is to be a feminist, affirmative action leader in the past maybe 40 years, then you would have said it's Madam Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, because from the PNDC Law 111 to the affirmative action platforms such as the Beijing Women's Conference and all that, she has been at the heart of that. And if someone has defined what a female leader should look and epitomize, then you say it's her, because at the time, sometimes you would wonder whether she had a heavier schedule than the president, President Rawlings, because the hinterlands were where she was. And for a young mother who had children and who had to leave them behind and go in there, form the 31st women's movements, the Gary processing factories, but all those things. Those were, and then the kindergartens. You cannot discount those things, the markets. Those were serious issues that affected women and their development. So I think that perhaps it will not be far-fetched if in the future we commemorate her, either her birthday or her death, as one of the commemorative dates within the party's calendar, so as to cement
her
legacy in the party.
Irrespective of what the last...
No, yes, and that's why I said the statement made by the General Secretary was very, very informative. And I think that it symbolizes the thinking that we can let the past be the past. And the fact that you can't erase someone's contribution. Yes, you may have your differences, but when it comes to the history of the NDC, even the logo and other things, her contribution cannot be discounted, even in terms of material and other things. So I think that she has done her part.
The NDC will call for a state funeral.
Clearly. I mean, that one is without a doubt.
Great.
That goes without any shred of doubt. So I hope Ghanaians continue to commemorate her legacy.
Great. Now, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, says Ghana cannot formally seek the extradition of former Finance Minister Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings from the United States until a solid legal case is established. He explained that the U.S. extradition laws require formal charges and a comprehensive docket before any request can be made. Mr. Agyeman-Rawlings remains in the U.S. months after being declared a fugitive in February. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series in Accra, Dr. Ayeni addressed reports suggesting limited cooperation between his office and the Office of the Special Prosecutor, saying that the Attorney General's Department is still awaiting the necessary case files.
There has been a lot of talk on both mainstream and social media regarding what is happening. All right. In a nutshell, the processes have begun for the request to be made. The point is that the request to be made to the American authorities. When doing extradition, you cannot make a request unless you have a solid case, a docket that has been built. And in the case of the Americans, the practice is for you to have filed charges. And so, for instance, when Kofi Boateng, when we extradited Kofi Boateng, Kojo Boateng, to the U.S. on the request of the Justice Department of the United States, the Justice Department actually sent me what they call the bail of indictment. All right, that's the charge. Those are the charges. They sent me the charges, the supporting facts, and everything. And ladies and gentlemen, they spent 6 years investigating the syndicate of criminals that included, Kojo Boateng. 6 years. All right. So the point that we have made, that my deputy made, is that without a docket, we cannot make the request. So we are still waiting for the docket. That is all I can say for now. I have read everything that has been said by the OSP and his office. I respect his office. I respect the autonomy of the office and so on. Okay. But we in the Attorney General's Department cannot begin an extradition request with a bare letter. We need the evidence to be able to do so.
Great. So that was Attorney General Dr. Ayeni. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor sent some press statement out, and I read portions of it. It says that on the 13th of June 2025, in the 30th of June 2025 letter, the Attorney General requested for 2 officers of the OSP to be included in the prosecution team. The Attorney General also requested a copy of the docket. By a letter dated 20th June 2025, the Special Prosecutor responded to the Attorney General by providing the names and contact details of its 2 nominees. In respect of the request for a copy of the docket, the Special Prosecutor informed the Attorney General that OSP was in the process of boarding up the various dockets on the subject, which work had been extended following a search and seizure of documents and computer servers carried out by the OSP and National Security at 2 offices of the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML, on June 10, 2025. In September 2025, the Attorney General followed up with its request. Beyond the official written communication, there have been progressive discussions involving the Attorney General and the Special Prosecutor on the one hand, and the Special Prosecutor and the Deputy Attorney General on the other hand, in respect of the course of the extradition process. On the night of Thursday, 16th October 2025, the OSP noted a leakage on social media of the communication between the special prosecutor and the chief of staff and the attorney general, and the attorney general and the special prosecutor on the matter of the extradition of Mr. Ofori-Atta, accompanied by a negative commentary that the OSP was intentionally frustrating the attorney general in the extradition process. The OSP confidently states that the leakage of the official documents did not arise from its end. The OSP firmly places it on record that the extradition process was triggered by the OSP based on the outcome of the OSP investigations into the tenure of Mr. Ofori-Atta as finance minister. The OSP is not frustrating and will not frustrate its own extradition request. Therefore, there is absolutely no reason for the Attorney General's department to feel frustrated. If that is the case, in respect of a matter it is not involved in substantively in respect of the investigation and prosecution of suspected persons, since the OSP investigations and prosecutions are independent of any authority. Yes, it goes on and on. But let me also bring you the 4 or 5 matters Konadu Ofori-Atta is being wanted to answer. One is in respect of the GRA SML deal, contractual arrangements between the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority, aimed at enhancing assurance in the petroleum and mineral sectors. Some 1 billion cedis, etc., involved in that. The ECG Beijing contract, termination of a distribution, loss reduction, and associated network involvement project contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited and the Beijing Jiao Sheng Technology BXC, which Ofori-Atta facilitated. The National Cathedral, that is commonplace. And then the One District, One Ambulance initiative. This concerns a contract awarded by the Ministry of Health, initially managed by the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives, to service Ghana Auto Group Limited for the purchase after sales service and maintenance of some 307 Mercedes-Benz ambulances for the National Ambulance Service. It has been reviewed that Ofori-Atta approved a staggering $34.9 million for spare parts for these ambulances, despite the firm being discredited. The company allegedly linked to the daughter of the former President Akufo-Addo and all of that. This out of use tax, OSP also probing payments made from the utilization of the Ghana Revenue Authority's tax refund account, etc., etc. So these are the issues the OSP wants Ofori-Atta to answer. Ofori-Atta is not in the country. We are told that he is not well. He's undergoing some medical treatment, keeps shifting the dates, and now it appears clear to the OSP that extradition should be the way forward. I start off with Nipapo, right? From where you sit, is it the case that the OSP, quote unquote, is frustrating efforts to get the extradition process ongoing? The OSP argues that it cannot be frustrating its own process because it initiated a process by writing to the Chief of Staff. What was the position?
I guess I guess there's much ado about nothing in my opinion, because the processes and the legal basis for extradition is clear. When it comes to the U.S. and how the procedure by which they deal with their extradition matters, you need to have charged the person. Then you need to provide the evidence, because they have rules against political persecution, prosecutions that are tainted by other things other than a purely criminal matter that you have been charged with and for which you must appear in court. And so you need to be careful in the evidence and the procedure by which you present the evidence, so that nothing taints the application that you put before the U.S. courts. Because if you miss it, that's it. You won't get the shot again. You understand? So the OSP initiated a red alert application, which means that you are declared a wanted person. That is about restricting your ability to move from one jurisdiction to the other freely. The presumption is that the docket, the building of the docket, which by way of investigations would have been going on simultaneously. But then if you look at the statement of the OSP, they say that they came across additional information from the SML investigations, which require them to what? To study and to put in a form that would make it easy to present in the docket. So simply put, the docket is not ready.
It's not ready.
You understand? And the AG has no role when it comes to this matter until it is presented with the docket. So you can tell the AG that, look, help me to, and the AG is the only authority, state authority, that can deal with issues of what? Of extradition. So yes, you've done the red alert part. You are still in the process of completing your investigations. You say that other matters came up which you want to consolidate in your docket and present to the AG. The AG wrote in his letter, which we've all seen, give me even an interim docket. Let me see the state in which the docket is. OSP says, I'm not ready to present you with that yet. I will give me a few more weeks and I'll present it to you. And they were clear in their statement that they need a little more time to conclude their investigations and present the docket. If you know how the AG's office works, if your docket is not ready, it's not ready. There's nothing they can do with it. That's why in the letter requesting for the docket, they said, give us either the interim docket, let us see where you are, so that we can advise ourselves as to whether we can even use what you have presented to what? To commence the process. So I think that it's not a matter of blame. See, my admiration for the style, being a former prosecutor of this IAG, is that he takes his time. Despite all the pressure that is with, and that is one of the things you must be careful about. And I think the NDC this time around has learned lessons from the past, where perhaps under our previous administrations we rushed certain prosecutions because of political pressure, and we paid the price for it because we never got even a single conviction in court. This time around, if the docket is not ready, the docket is not ready. And he will not be rushed into, because at the end of the day, it will be the same person to take responsibility. And you heard him say, if he rushes the docket and things don't go well, these are the same people who will call him incompetent. And every lawyer's pride is your reputation. You understand? You don't want to be tagged as an incompetent lawyer, because that is how you eat. And so one day you leave public service and move into private practice again. And you wouldn't want your history in being written to be written as one who was an incompetent attorney. So I think his position is correct. He has indicated that whatever it is, I think all parties realize the fact that this is a matter of public interest.
Yes.
A huge chunk of accusations have laid against the person of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta with all manner of allegations. The investigations must be done right. If OSP feels that it is not ready, it is not ready.
But there's about 5 cases, huge cases, that OSP alone is dealing with, whilst there are other investigative bodies.
The AG is also dealing with other cases.
Okay, so these 5 we know, which are huge nonetheless. You think that OSP is taking on too much than it can ordinarily deal with?
They haven't complained. They haven't complained. I can see this time around the OSP is very busy. Filing its cases, amending its charges. And so that's how we want it. We want to see all the agencies working to deal. Let's make corruption a very unattractive exercise. You understand? It is important that the investigations are done and done properly. And then the prosecutions are done and done well. So that when the docket is ready and we are in court, then we can shift the pressure to the court system and say that we want to see day-to-day hearings. We won't allow you to, or then we can put the pressure on the AG. Look, you are in court. We want you to deliver the cases on time. Right now, when it comes to Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, he needs to be in the jurisdiction. The only way you can get him into the jurisdiction is, of course, to what? To have the evidence. As it is, yes, you've declared him a wanted person, but you haven't filed any extradition process backed with evidence that requires him to be in the jurisdiction. So you can't complain if he's found himself, at least you've held him or you've held him in a corner. Literally, you've prevented him from being able to move around on the passport that is known. That restriction is a bit, it narrows his ability to do a few things. However, the next step is bring the evidence that is needed to back the extradition request. That is where we are.
But again, before I go to the next, but before I go to the next, the man says he's sick. I mean, he's sick, and
that one will be brought when he's in the country. I think all of us want to see Mr. Kenoforiata.
So even if he's sick in a very debilitating manner,
have you got any evidence?
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
we are speculating.
But he says he's sick. He's even said, I think
he says he's
not
sick.
What is?
He says he's sick.
I am not sick. I am not sick.
You see, the point is this. He, as an accused person, does not owe anybody assistance in his own prosecution. Do you understand? He would lift a finger. If I were offering him advice, I'll say stay put. Because at the end of the day, you have no onus to help somebody to prosecute you. You understand?
So you tell him to remain in the US until he's forced down.
But you have the onus. The work, the responsibility is on you, the state, to bring the evidence. So the AG is telling you that I have not gotten the docket, and without the docket, I cannot initiate the extradition process because I will look stupid. I will then what? Have only a letter of suspicion that I suspect the person to be. Come on, nobody will do that because if you do that, the Americans won't take you seriously. When they were requesting the extradition of our citizens, they came with a docket, properly built. They said, bring us even an interim docket. And we deal with interim dockets all the time. You will get it to a point where it will tell you that, okay, investigations, but at least it will give you something to be able to work on. They haven't received it. So clearly, the AG at least needs to tell the public, and has informed the public that I don't have the documents needed to trigger whatever it is. So let the OSP tell us. The OSP then is forced to come out with a statement. So we are at the doorstep of the OSP. And we demand that the OSP does his work.
Great. Nana, of course, you have dealt with the OSP in many fronts. But we'll deal with
He's
that.
A friend. He's a friend.
He's a friend to the office. We'll deal with that. But, of course, the AG is saying he needs an interim report. So for the report is not ready, we can't force the report to be ready. But give us an interim report. You think it's a reasonable request from the AG for which the OSP should what's the word? Is it respond or should respond?
It's more than reasonable. When you look at the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, it is clear that in pursuing its objective, it has to cooperate with all other state agencies. And indeed, in this instance, it is obvious that without the cooperation with the Attorney General, he cannot achieve his object of getting Mr. Kenoforiata into the Republic of Ghana.
Without the AG.
And so this is a clear instance as to why the framers of the Office of the Special Prosecutors Act came to the conclusion that cooperation is a necessity for the Office of the Special Prosecutor. In my view, this is not a matter we should have blown to the proportion which it has got into. Because one, the Special Prosecutor himself used to be a junior of the Attorney General in chambers. And you know how we cooperate with our seniors.
So it should even be an advantage.
That's right. Seniority is seniority for life in practice. If my senior calls me today, no matter what I'm doing, no matter our differences that may have perhaps, been the situation or whatever, I'll go. That is how legal practice we operate. And so the Special Prosecutor should be happy today that he has a senior as the Attorney General. In fact, I was surprised to have seen that he rather wrote to the Chief of Staff and not having gone to see the Attorney General, unless there is some conversation behind the scenes that we are not privy to. However, without being privy to that conversation, it will come to me as a surprise for him to have rather written to the Chief of Staff, because you know that extradition requests are made by the country. The Attorney General is the one that initiates it. And when you have your senior in chambers as the Attorney General, it's a matter of going to him to have a conversation. And so that came to me as a surprise. Now, when the Special Prosecutor, out of his own volition, made that request from the Chief of Staff, one would have thought that he knew what would be required to be able to achieve that object of his. And so in writing to the Attorney General, in writing to the Chief of Staff, you should be ready to cooperate with the Chief of Staff to assist you in bringing your target home. And so, question is, at that point, what did the Office of the Special Prosecutor thought was going to be needed in helping him achieve his object when he wrote to the Chief of Staff? Was it that he thought it was going to be diplomacy? That there was going to be some diplomatic relationship? No, in America it doesn't work like that. Ken Ofori-Atta would definitely go for one of the toughest lawyers. Because if he's minded not to come to Ghana, in fact, even if he's minded to come to Ghana, he knows that once that happens, it affects his record. And so you should anticipate that you have a whole huge, humongous legal battle ahead. And so merely writing to the Chief of Staff, right, in my view, raises a lot of questions. Okay? Beyond that, let's also look at how the Office of the Special Prosecutor has handled Ken Ofori-Atta's issue up to now. And what the recent development highlights. Firstly, when the press conference was held, it was obvious that there was no charge against Ken Ofori-Atta. There was no charge. And yes, because you see, when I raise these issues, people probably think
you're an axe to grind.
No, I don't. I'll tell you why. I'm a student of constitutional law, and I'm very much aware of Ghana's constitutional history. And I don't take for granted where we are today. And I think that it should be protected. It should be protected with the view to building institutions that appreciate compliance with due process of law, respect for fundamental human rights, respect for the Ghanaian. It is only when we respect the Ghanaian that the others will also respect us. And that is why sometimes I even have a problem with our courts. That what is the basis upon which the arrest warrant, the order for arrest, was even made? Because with this development, it is obvious that the order may have been made on very scanty information. That is without regard to the fundamental human rights of this country, the Constitution of Ghana. It appears that judges that are making orders for arrest really do not appreciate the Constitution of Ghana
enough to make the orders.
Yes, and to that extent, they don't appreciate the Constitution of Ghana. Look, when the Supreme Court decided that going forward, a person charged with murder is entitled to bail. Going forward, a person charged with defilement and rape, they are entitled to bail. They were only speaking the mind of the Constitution. When that situation persisted, or was the order of the day, the state prosecutors slept on the job, because all they needed to go to court was to flash.
So it's a murder matter.
There's a charge of murder. And so somebody could even, someone who has an axe to grind with you,
could frame you up.
To frame you up. And that became the order of the day. Young girls were being instigated by their parents to accuse people falsely. And they were being held in custody for months, for years. I did a case like that. People don't know. And that's why some of these matters I'm passionate. If you ask Wilberforce, a young man who had just finished his national service, gotten a job at SGSSB, one of 5 people that had been hired nationwide, was accused of defilement by the niece of a woman he was living with. My brother, this boy, because of the law, was kept in custody for 9 months. 9 months. I fought and fought and fought and fought. By the grace of God, he had his liberty. And that is why I'm passionate about these things, and people don't understand. I don't think that people who have been given the power by the law should also be given a pass by our court. Because already their arms are strengthened by the law. And the court which stands between them and the ordinary person is also giving them a pass. And so, in respect of Ken Ofori-Atta, I don't think he may not be my favorite person. He may not, I'm saying. He may not be the favorite person of everybody here. But he's entitled to the protection the law offers him. And so when you came out to hold the press conference, what charge were you pressing against Ken Ofori-Atta at the time? Now you see, you hear what the Attorney General is saying. He said, in the US, without a charge, an extradition order will not be made. And so the fundamental basis is that there should be a charge against Ken Ofori-Atta. Meanwhile, at the time these press conferences were held, there was no charge against him, right?
At the time, he said he was wanted for questioning. He wanted him to come to answer some questions.
Article 19.3 of our Constitution is clear. You don't need him. You don't need him, and he summed it up. And I've made that point over and over again. And I heard some lawyers saying they disagree with me. Recently, my brother Pebu, who I had that debate with in your studio, has now come to the table. That is why a person is entitled to keep quiet when you arrest him. And so if he keeps quiet, what is the utility?
Just go ahead and do your case.
Exactly.
Just go ahead and do your case. Prove your case.
Exactly. And so we have come full cycle.
You see, but you see, the principle of natural justice also is at play. Because, yes, you have a right to gather your evidence, you have a right not to keep, but at least you have a right to be confronted.
Natural justice in what sense?
So, the point being that, you say I have that...
No, you give him a hearing?
Give him a hearing.
No, but everything shows that he's been invited. He's been given opportunity.
It's a procedural issue. So natural justice has not just got to do with the substantive law. It also has to do with the procedure by which you are seeking to bring the person before the court. Have you ever given the person the opportunity to be confronted with them? So that is where his point... That's where his point that you have the right to keep quiet. So then you are confronted with it.
No, but the point is...
It's not obvious that the man wants to keep quiet.
They've invited you many times. They've even initiated processes to get you in.
Yes.
The state clearly has... done things to show that they are ready to give you a hearing in fulfillment of the natural justice.
Yes.
Anyway, let's go.
When you go to court and there's a challenge of the breach of your right to natural justice, all you need to show, right, against a person who is saying that there was no respect for my right to natural justice is that I made the effort to hear you, but you, right, refused to come.
And enough effort has been made.
Enough effort has been made.
You finish.
And so the question is this, my brother, all this while, what the OSP was doing was much ado about nothing. Nothing. Now it is clear. When you went for your Interpol red alert, what was the basis upon which the court made that order for the arrest, necessitating the Interpol red alert? You see, and this is why I'm saying our courts are failing us in this regard.
Maybe the court saw the preliminary evidence, not the evidence that I want this man for ABC, this amount of money, this, that, and that, national cathedral, etc. He is not coming. Can you issue an arrest warrant for
That is why I say that they fail to look at the Constitution. Look, a person's liberty, which is guaranteed by the Constitution, should be respected. It is not a joke. The liberties of a person guaranteed by the Constitution is not a joke. In some instances, even when the Constitution has been suspended, some judges have appreciated this historically and protected it. And today, when we have the Constitution, then you need to do more to demonstrate to me why I should curtail that liberty. And that is where I'm saying we are being failed. Now, let's move on. You were able to secure a red alert. Now, the Attorney General is saying, give me the docket so that I can move on to go and bring him. And you say the docket is not ready.
Just like the kingpins, you can't find
You have to augment it. You have to augment it. If indeed there was something, go to the Attorney General and say, Senior, this is where I am. This is where I am. However, I think that I've gotten evidence A, B, C, D. That will make our case tighter. This is it.
Allow me some time.
Allow me some time.
In any case, there are about 4 or 5 areas. So if the SML one is what you are dealing with, that's just one out of the 4 or 5.
That's right.
What happens to the others?
Exactly. And so, why the delay? Why they need to issue a press conference? Why they need to issue a press statement and so on and so forth? Because the press statement was consequent upon the Deputy Attorney General having come out. And we are politicians. The Attorney General is a politician. The Deputy Attorney General, even though an academic, is a politician. When he comes out like that, he knows why he's coming out. I'm sure he didn't come out without the knowledge and consent of the deputy. It was a strategy to communicate to the world, because you see, the rank and file of the NDC have been up in arms for some time, demanding that the oral, something happens. And so they are here to tell you that, look, we are ready to work on Ken Ofori-Atta.
That is the man.
That is the man. That is all he came to communicate to us. Right?
That has triggered all of this.
And I'm saying, very respectfully, all of them, they are friends. If it was easy, I know Dr. Dominic Ayeni. If it was easy, if there was some communication going on at the time, there's no way he would have made the Deputy Attorney General come out to do what he did. And so we need to appreciate this and urge cooperation as required by the Office of the Special Prosecutors.
Let me press you on this. Why would you think that the OSP will not want to be cooperating with the AG's office?
That's a question the gods can answer. There's no art to tell the mind's construction on a human face. I can't tell by looking at his face. Because I don't know what is going on. I can only assume. I can only assume that he didn't have it. If he had it, he would have made it available. Because for him to have written to the office of the Chief of Staff clearly shows an intention. And so, clearly, what kind of intention? Is it an intention of willingness to cooperate? If it's an intention of willingness to cooperate, then you sent it yourself. You submitted. So you should be more enthusiastic in cooperating. You should be in a hurry to deliver. But now, for the very person that wanted help, is now being chased and he's backing out, knowing very well that the help he wants cannot be delivered without the AG. Now, I've heard, for instance, some things like leakages.
Yes, so that's a major part.
Wait, I'm coming. When the Office of the Special Prosecutor is pursuing a job, look, leakage, what can be detrimental in this regard? The leakage can be detrimental to the investigations, and I'll tell you why.
No, but he says some of those leakages put some of their officers in line of peril.
And so who was going to help him in the extradition? So if the leakages...
So he wants the identity
of the people
disclosed.
No, I'm saying that. So he doesn't trust the AG. That's what
No, he's saying that the leakage. So he doesn't point fingers at the AG as being the source of the leakage. He's saying that whoever leaked the document has put officers of the Special Prosecutor's Office
but the AG has sworn an oath.
Which document was leaked?
No, there was some. There was his communication to the Chief of Staff, the Chief of Staff's communication to the AG, the AG's communication with himself,
OSP, yes.
OSP. So there were communications, and all of that got leaked.
It's part of the trigger of
But let me ask you.
And he says his confidence did not come from his office.
Salom. So what makes him think that? What makes him think that is the AG that leaked it?
No, but he said that.
No, but what's
he didn't
special
say
about
that.
that?
He didn't say that.
I don't see anything special about that leakage.
But he's worried that his
Let's all understand
identity.
The names of the investigators.
I'm sorry.
are stated in the correspondence.
The names of the investigators who are to take charge
Yes,
of.
and that's dangerous.
Yes, that's not.
No. I'm saying they are stated in the correspondence.
So there was.
That's what he claims.
Yes.
I have not seen.
There were the names of two people. There was a request from the office of the AG to the Special Prosecutor to indicate
contact details
of the persons who would be
assisting
the
liaison
AGs
between the two
to the two officers in dealing with the extradition, and the names were provided.
But I don't see
an investigator is a public officer.
No. But you see, it is not all. Of course, you know all the narcotics
we are dealing with
agents
and all of this.
I don't know.
Exactly.
We don't even know who
investigator.
You don't know how many. You know all the BNI investigators.
If you want to know,
no. It's also exactly.
Without any effort.
Exactly. But the delegate is not ideal. The delegate is not ideal.
But now the point is this, so he is careful.
Yes. My brother is cautious. Cautious with the Attorney General's office. The office of the Special Prosecutor is the rib of the Attorney General.
Sure.
In fact, the Attorney General said it's autonomous. In my view, there's a question of constitutionality even about the creation of the office of the OSP.
And all the OSP's point is that he's independent.
And I'm saying that there is, I know that.
Yes.
The OSP,
and all of that.
The OSP is under the oversight of Parliament. Even though its statute seem to say that it is not under the control of the AG when it comes to prosecution. In my view,
taking powers from the AG.
In my view, it is even unconstitutional. It is not.
You are provided us in power to other agencies.
That power, the AG when the AG gives you power,
the AG could tell you to stop.
If you look at the DACOP Act, for
example. No, but the AG could tell you.
But I'm saying
but the AG could tell you to stop.
It doesn't make it constitutional. The AG has the exclusive power when it comes to prosecutions. The AG determines who we
all know that. But the issue is also to do with you create an office and you say that for corruption related offenses, you do not want, because of previous experience,
political.
you don't want that prosecution to be interfered with by the AG. So the AG now cannot enter a nollie prosecution when the when the OSP has initiated the case.
An act of Parliament. An act of Parliament cannot override the Constitution.
Article 11 is clear. Wait, so now let me come to you. You put the civil society and all of that together for me. I mean, leakages and all of that. Give me an interim report. The report is not coming. They say they are in the process of the extradition. They have said a number of things that they have done recently. So, for example, the OSPs identified a fugitive. There are verification and charges. Interpol red alert has been done, submission to the Attorney General, and all of those things, they are the processes. They are somewhere along the line. You think that the OSP is delaying, or you think that the AG's office, because of public pressure, is just speaking to give them some time?
No, I think clearly the way the OSP is conducting himself is a clear case once again in a country of let's do something to represent something. No commitment. You see,
even though he's held press conferences, people have even said that the way he manages emotions is that it appears as if he has a specific axe to grind against Kenoforiata, etc., etc. This is just to represent something.
There are so many phases to this issue, and I think one of them is whether or not, if indeed even the OSP is constitutional. And I agree.
But that's a bigger discussion.
There are so many different phases to this.
Or somebody could go to court in the heat of it to throw the OSP's office away.
I agree 100% with my brother here. In my view, the OSP is unconstitutional. In my opinion, I think it must be stated clearly.
The better thing the case for the OSP.
But see, we created an institution, an anti-corruption institution, in line with one of the underlying values of our constitution, which is probity and accountability. So when you are talking about the purpose of the constitution, which ultimately is to protect the liberties of the people, the lives of the people, and their right to pursue their own happiness, you must juxtapose that against also the burden on politics to build a strong state. You understand? And Ghana, in line with the principles, and also in the preamble to our constitution. And one of those values is the value of probity and accountability. So that's why we set up the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and we felt that we needed to make that position non-partisan. We needed to make it independent. I find it worrying that the OSP did not have the courage, the cojones, to bring these charges not charge, let's say, so to bring these allegations against Ken whilst Ken was in office. Because the what's called the issue of the cathedral has been an issue that has been raging for some years.
Yeah.
No, but you see,
how do you bring charges against it?
It's beside the point. You understand? The point that the people of Ghana, because the president, when he pushed for the OSP agenda, made a case for the need for us to have a body, an institution that was both independent and non-partisan. And in fact, that was the best way for us to deal with the raging issue of corruption, which was making it very difficult for us to fulfill the purpose of our constitution. You understand? Then for us to have this office, which is meant to be independent, and the person who is the OSP to not have the courage to bring these allegations against the finance minister whilst he was in office, flies against everything that the so-called office was meant to stand for in the first place. Two, I find it very worrying that all this controversy, the press conference, because the press conference is not just the recent press conference, but the famous press conference in January. All of this happened when clearly there was no charge. Because as it stands now, 10 months down the line, there is no charge. So is it a case that, like we always do, we are playing games with something as serious as beyond somebody's rights, but sometimes serious as the allegation. Because to think that 96 $1 million for cities of our monies are lost, and all we have to show for that $96 million is a big hole. And to read the report from the auditors, that says that these monies were expended without the authorization of procurement. You understand? The SM1, you were quoting about 1 billion. So that all these monies have been lost. These monies are being attributed to the what's called finance minister. The OSP was unable to initiate any action whilst Ken was in office. In spite of all the so-called audit reports, we have auditors and internal auditors, external auditors, and there was no cause for the OSP to bring or to initiate any action when Ken was in office. And then you started for 10 months, there's no charge, and you have press conferences and you do all this. So for me, I think it's a clear case of a fundamental lack of commitment once again to fight corruption.
So fundamental lack of commitment, as in the OSP is not interested in advancing this case.
And that's what I think. I think that there's enough evidence. Yeah, you understand? There's enough evidence to make me believe that once again, let's do something to represent something. And I think it's a fundamental problem with our country. So we believe in the creation of institutions as a form, but we do not imbibe those institutions with the spirit, with a spirit to build the virtue of the. So let's do something to represent something. Once again, we play games. You understand? We deceive the public. We hold press conferences, and clearly, I don't think anything is going to happen.
So what can the AG do? Is the AG's hands tied? Can we say that there are 5 cases against the kind of fraud you are dealing with? Can you just focus on to give us 3, or what can the AG do?
No. So the AG's hands are not tied.
If it's clear from what you're saying that it's just something is just being done to represent something.
It is very clear.
But the OSP is independent.
No, but article, you see, I think
they were going back to the constitutional argument.
Yeah, because whenever there's a conflict, a seemingly conflict between the constitution and an act of parliament,
you resolve it in favor of the constitution.
It's so clear.
Resolving it in favor of the constitution means to scrap the office.
I'm saying that my senior didn't go as far as to say it was unconstitutional, but I'll go as far as to say that the OSP is not constitutional for all intents and because you see the constitution is so clear on into whose hands the prosecutorial powers of government has been granted to. Is the Attorney General. So the OSP is like similar to an agent of the he's the one mandated by the Constitution of Ghana, mandated by the people of Ghana to prosecute issues. So that there's indeed, I think the AG should take the cases from the OSP. Probably we should go to court and challenge the constitutionality of the
constitutionality of the court, and if that goes in favor, if that goes in your favor, it means the OSP is scrapped.
It should be scrapped. You see, that's you see, when we are building institutions, when we are building institutions, we ought to build them well. You understand? So I think when a debate on the OSP happened, people raised those issues that if you indeed wanted the OSP to be independent, then the proper way to do it was to have amended the constitution.
Now, that was going to be a long route.
But it's better than what we have now. So breach. You understand? It's better because right now you have an OSP who, like I'm saying, didn't have the courage. He did not have the courage to charge Ken when Ken was in power. They are doing this press conference, in my opinion, it's just the normal games. You understand? The AG's hand shouldn't be tied. Because what is at stake goes to the very foundation of the virtue of this country. The extent to which corruption is destroying this nation. You see, Aristotle says something when he defined politics. That politics is the master science that is concerned with what the strength of the state and the well-being of the citizens. So when you are in politics, there are other things, law, economics, everything. You understand? You should be able to control them. To what end? To the strength of the state. And we know what corruption is doing to our country in terms of the values of our. I know we'll discuss what's called the NSS issue and the other corruption issues. It's unbelievable what corruption is doing to our state. And then in a bid to fight corruption, we create an institution by breaching the constitution. And clearly, we see the way everything is being handled clearly shows a fundamental lack of commitment by all of us. Whether those in power, those of us in opposition, the journalists. There's a fundamental lack.
You are not in opposition. You are not even in parliament.
We are in opposition.
You are not in opposition. You are watching. You are watching.
You are not in opposition.
You are not in opposition.
Bro,
you don't have one seat in parliament.
Listen. You see, when you naturally, you see, if you consider the fact that power, the people are the sovereign, then every Ghanaian, you understand, every Ghanaian ought to be interested. So those who do not want political power now, you understand, can choose to say that they are in opposition. You understand? It's not about going to parliament per se. The CSOs are not in opposition. But you have a huge role to play in the politics. So for me, I think my position is very simple. I think all what is happening is a clear case of, once again, let's do something to represent something. There's no commitment. And unless the AG himself takes steps by taking the matter from the OSP, and he has the constitutional mandate, the power, he can do that if he chooses to. Then I bet you nothing will happen with this.
I see. Let me take a few messages. I'll come to Senyo, who is civil society, who is everything really. This is from your brother Palgrave and our friend Dr. Palgrave Bachidanko. Said, "You are a very good panel this morning. Solid stuff from everyone. Tell Apia Danko, my brother, to come from UP." He said, "We come home." This one from Papa BC in Spinter says, "Hi Salam, sad to hear how corrupt people in position of trust milk the state. Worst ones from so-called judgment debts. All those in the MPP thinking oral is just a political talk show should take note. Very, very soon, tribunals are on their way to kickstart the whole show of prosecuting those corrupt ones in MPP and within the society so they should relax and watch the show in a few months." Yes. So, Senor, civil society is part of the reason why the AG's office is feeling pressure. And of course, the OSP's office is feeling pressure. The OSP has said that it takes time to build dockets.
Contaminated fuel. Well,
which one is that?
It's putting sand in the guy. So I mean, and the message.
There's a scandal.
The message to you guys is that it takes time to build a docket. You don't just want to put something together, rush to court. The court to throw it out because the court deals with hard facts, evidence.
As a friend of the learned people, I'm not the learned man. But my friends are learned.
You teach learned
people. And I teach
learned people.
Yes, but to be honest, I think that politicians must look at this corruption matter very carefully. Probity and accountability are fundamental to the construct of our Constitution. They reflect aspirations and ideals and values around which we bring into reality those promises that the Constitution gives us, which includes a better life and all that for our people. It creates a framework for our governance. So when we deal with issues of corruption, the way we deal with them is a problem. At the heart of the dwindling confidence in our democracy is corruption. Like we discussed last week, everybody calls each other corrupt. And yes, all of you want to come and rule us. Almost every coup in this country that has been successful has had a story, an allegation of corruption. Every single government that has knocked out another political party has come campaigning heavily and making accusations of corruption, only to go out with the same kinds of accusations. We should take this matter very seriously. You and I, for those of us sitting on this table, we know what a curfew looks like. We know how uncomfortable it is. Some of us may have seen parents moving from one room, one house to the other, just to manage these kinds of situations. It's not a very interesting thing. But the youth today are beginning to believe that that seems like the right way to go. They look at Burkina Faso and the purported progress that's going on there. People are beginning to think like that may be the best way to go. We are failing people. And the more people get to hear about corruption and our inaction around corruption, the worse the confidence in democracy is. So to my brothers here, the active politicians, I beg you, I understand. I delivered a lecture at the Constitution Day lecture, and I said that corruption is the currency for our democracy. That is the kind of democracy we have created. It is the currency. It is that one thing that funds our democracy. But you need to realize that it is the one thing that will kill the democracy. So we need some serious rethinking. The conversation here about whether the constitutionality of the OSP or not is an important one. It's also a reflection of will. Has there been, is there some kind of confusion? There is a legitimate confusion around that matter. But why didn't we solve it properly? By those people who are supposed to be the pioneers of law, the MPP at the time. Why should we talk about long routes? Why should we talk about convenience? Is it that both parties could not even agree that corruption has to be dealt with an institution like this? It's a problem. This is something that should actually get consensus quickly from everybody. If we have to amend the Constitution, this one would have required just 2/3 or so of it.
It's not entrenched.
It's not an entrenched thing. I don't think so.
88 is not entrenched.
Is it 88?
No, we can just check.
I don't know. All right. If it is, then fine. Maybe we'll agree that way. And if it is, and we are using this as a bypass for now, it's not something we should be fighting. It should be something that we should all be working towards, because we realize the policy construct, the policy value, and democratic sustainability in that kind of office. Do we need the office of the OSP? Absolutely. In a very politically intrusive and pervasive environment like this, which is the primary anchor for facilitating the corruption, how do you leave the prosecution or the fight against corruption to the same people? I don't understand.
The OSP is even the special prosecutor is appointed
by the president.
By the president.
Exactly. I agree.
He goes for vetting. So the same procedure. And so the thinking that you are appointing an OSP, a special prosecutor who is more independent than the Attorney General, is even defeated by that.
I don't agree that it's
even the case of the Chief Justice. Somebody has to appoint somebody. But the Chief Justice will say it's independent.
In respect of the Chief Justice.
I understand that. I was on the floor. He cut his own. There's no letting. I was on the floor. Don't come cry.
No, go ahead.
While there is red in orange, orange is not red.
Orange is not red.
You understand? So I agree with him. We want to go to green. But in orange, there's red. We are moving from red. So where we are is better than the other one. So it's not a debate. That's something we all agree on. You give the man the independence, the person can turn against you. But you need to resource them. So we need to re-look at that office. On this particular case, so I mean, substantively on that office is a very important office. And it has to be properly resourced. I've had my own positions on how we should be appointing such officers. I don't think the president should be left to do that on his own. I think that Parliament should have a two-thirds influence over those decisions. And it should not just bring one person, it should bring a number of people. There should be a proper debate. There should be a proper public interview like you have in the Kenyan Chief Justice system. And then we all see. Then we know who we are bringing. And when you appoint somebody, both the opposition and the ruling government will relatively have an interest in that person. And the person will be freely independent. You want to remove them, you go through a very thorough process. That also requires the same level of influence. You know, so I think that there's a way around that. But it needs a proper constitutional review. Now, on the substantive matter of this particular Oforiatta, the government, the OSP must realize that Ghanaians are wild and angry. And whatever Oforiatta did to personify a lot of the Ghanaian pain, it is his problem. But that is the reality of the time. From the DDEP and all that, the way he went around exercising his power and influence, people are really upset. People are angry. People expect that if he is legitimately culpable in a matter, that he be properly dealt with that passion. His day in court should come. What I don't understand this table, and my brothers and the lawyers have still not explained to me why. Why is the case not able to proceed with or without Oforiatta in Ghana? What are the charges? After all this while, we still don't know the charges. I think that the OSP, and I appreciate the work he's doing. Kisi is a hardworking guy. I've known Kisi in school. He's a fine brain. He had a first class, if I'm not mistaken. He has a relationship with Ayini. He worked with Ayini in Ayini's firm for about 4 years or so. All right? These are not people who are strangers to each other. So there's a great basis for proper cooperation. Personally, there's a relationship that exists. So when they do this,
which should be advantageous to the cause.
So when they do what they are doing, to be honest, the two of them, my brothers, you are not helping us. People start feeling as if you guys are deliberately playing some totals. It's not totals. Can Oforiatta matter? It's a serious matter. From the SML to the ECD, the power sector matter, to the ambulance, to the cathedral matter. I beg you, Ghanaians need to see action. It's not that we should just see people moving around, but we need honest engagement. So when the OSP has come and he's done a press conference and everybody thinks that everything is supposed to happen, then suddenly we are hearing 10 months down the line that docket is not ready. You are not helping us. So the communication should be very clear. Where we are, what we are doing, the progress we are going to make, and how much time it will take. But I believe that while we are discussing extradition, this extradition for me is neither here nor there. We accused Sedina, and we took her through the process.
But she was in court. She was in court.
Please,
no, she was in court.
I want to be. I want left. Us to. Look, I need. Yes, go ahead. I need you people to tell us on this table. You people are the one who went to the school. Are you saying that without Oforiatta's presence here, the Constitution, which I read, will not allow you to try him in absentia?
It will allow you.
What are we talking about? Put your docket together, deal with the matter. Whether the man wants to come or not, if I am him, I will not want to come. If I feel that I will be, I don't have a case. If you know you have a case, Mr. Oforiatta, you quote Bible more than everybody in this country. Quote Bible to yourself, have faith and come in and defend yourself and clean your name. But if you are doing this, it is evident that you yourself, you know.
Though he said it's not well.
My brother, who is not well? Your eyes, you are wearing special. Are you well?
No,
who is not well in Ghana? Who is well in Ghana?
No,
if your pocket is not well, we are all
not well. If he cannot bring himself down.
Please, he knows Oforiatta is walking. He's not bedridden. If he wants to come, he will come. If his money was here and then it was his government, do you think he won't come? When he had COVID, or whatever it is that happened to him during the COVID time, and he was sent to Mayo Clinic, didn't he come back? Is he in the West State that he left here in Ghana at the time? How did he sit in the plane to go? Please, stop playing cha-cha with people's lives. People are very upset. and let's not wane the confidence in democracy. For me, it's my biggest problem. So everybody, you know, Ken Oforiatta, have faith, pray your prayer. You pray everything, you wear white. Wear your white, do blow your tongues, and come to Ghana. And come and solve the matter. OSP, do your work. AG, no grammar. Whatever it is, deal with the case. If the guy is guilty, he's guilty. If he's not guilty, he's not guilty. There's no way that you can say that these cases that have been mentioned are matters of their political prosecution. Every Ghanaian had a major interest in this particular matter. So resolve it.
Great.
And let us go.
Great. Let me just, so, I mean, a few messages. Penny Nafo says, God bless you, Nana Bafuwa. Always pleasure listening to you. Great submission from they call you people's lawyer. I didn't know that.
That one is not true.
And this one says,
how many free cases has he done? He said, don't pay this man good money. Who man you?
Good morning,
if you pay him, then you get good job.
Good morning, host. The AG just wants to win the public trust. But some of us know the tactics he's using. If indeed the NDC wants to fight corruption, why didn't they start from their homes? This one says, good morning, host. I have noticed anytime there is a change in power, these our politicians play games with us. We know all their tactics. God alone can help us. Now let me come to you, Nipa. Okay. So there's 19.3.
19.3.
Okay.
Yes. Which says that 19.3. Which says the trial of a person charged with a criminal offense shall take place in his presence unless he refuses to appear before the court for the trial to be conducted in his presence after he has been duly notified of the trial. And when you check the Criminal Procedure Act, Criminal Offences Procedure Act, it tells you the procedure for notifying such a person. And so once that is satisfied, you have satisfied the constitutional requirement. And that is why I've always taken the position that it was pure drama which the OSP was undertaking. But wait, if I may, let me finish. My brother, you see, there's a proverb in Chi which says, "Atekro enkwawai." So when you are gambling and you are left with your last shilling, very respectfully, it will be absurd for you to gamble with it. In fact, it will be great risk, right? Imprudent risk. And so for a country like Ghana that has very scanty resources, you need to be careful the way and manner you apply those resources. I agree. We need an office that will be independent in the fight against corruption. The question is, are there not enough of such officers that we could have by an act or by way of an amendment, please allow me, made independent? Wait, I'm coming, my brother. Wait. The fact that it is our creation doesn't mean that
our creation means the MPP.
Yes, it's our creation, but I've taken a position from day one. From day one, everybody knows my position. When MPP was in power, I had that position. My brother, I am not one of those who, very respectfully, I respect the position of a party, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't have an independence of thought. And I'll do so with humility and respect to authority. You see, my brother, you have the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, and a constitutional body that has a history of going after people in power. During the days of President Rawlings, they were doing it. The days when they made adverse findings against PVOB and co.
Rawlings, in all honesty, has been a better Democrat than all the other Democrats.
Wait, my brother, wait.
I'm being honest with you. We allowed that office.
When you were talking.
No, let's
when you were talking.
Especially Nanado.
Thank you.
I disagree with you, but
let's stay on track.
So, Shraj, my brother, all we needed to do, right, was, you know, apart from the constitutional provision on Shraj, the details of Shraj's operation is in statute. And so we could have given that power to Shraj in a statute, if we're minded to. We have the Financial Intelligence Center. Wait, my brother. Wait, I am coming.
No, he's saying that we can fortify it.
Allow me. My brother, you have Yoko. You have all these. Yoko is also an office, the creation of Parliament, just like the office of the Special Prosecutor, right? And so you could have done that with Yoko. Okay?
Not to create a new one.
Not to create a new
one.
one.
But the independence of it. That the Attorney
independence
General or
of
the executive has no hand in it.
But you see, you were created by Parliament. Yoko was also created by Parliament. The independence is a parliamentary provision. It's in there. You understand?
No, what he's not bad for his essays.
No, on the strike bit, I can understand.
He's saying that any of these institutions could be given those powers.
Those powers.
And then the independence we want.
No, the independence. You see, Yoko would not have enjoyed that independence. No. Yoko also takes pride from the 88.
No. Why? If you made it independent by the law, that would be it.
No, but you see,
Salom. Oh no, please allow me to finish.
Yes. So hold your horses. I can give you a pen and paper.
Doing this. You see, Bafa is doing this because he doesn't want us to discuss the NSS and
no.
We did not come here to discuss the legitimacy of the constitutional legitimacy of the OSP.
Yes, go ahead.
We will not allow it.
Yes.
Let it be known on this table.
We'll take some time to discuss.
No, they are dealing with your mind.
Let it be known
they are dealing with it.
that I'm a student of accountability. I'm a tax-paying Ghanaian.
No, it's not in doubt.
And I think that everybody who holds public office
must be accountable.
But we must demand that within the confines of the law. That is my position. No, look, Salom. When you are creating an office that bequeaths to the holder the power to prosecute, the power to investigate, the power to arrest, that has constitutional connotation, and you don't do that easily. You have to be careful how you are doing it, because if you are not careful, somebody may abuse it without proper checks, and that is what we are seeing. That is what we are seeing. If you are not careful, the person will use the office to work for himself. Look.
No, what are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting
not in specific reference.
Look, when Mr. Martin Amidu occupied that office, he did only one prosecution. He went after the current majority leader, Mama Ayariga.
How successful was he?
He wasn't successful. Okay. And that is all he did, because Mama Ayariga, Honorable Mama Ayariga, was alleged to have taken advantage of the car loan given to him by Parliament.
Really speaking, of all things.
You understand? And so if you are not careful, holders of that office will abuse the power you have given them for their personal interest or things that do not serve the overriding interest of the country. And that is why creation of that office should not be done easily. That is why in other countries, special prosecutor is a special assignment with timelines. When it is done, you are done. But in the fight against corruption, you need an institution with substantive experience, substantive history, substantive independence, right? Which has that respect, doesn't wrap itself around one individual, which is what we have done with the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And so far, the results is there for us to see. Do you know the danger? The danger is that he has security of office for 7 years. And so even if he doesn't do anything, and assuming he even works for himself, he goes away with the benefit within the 7 years. What do you do to him?
No, but are you saying that we cannot trigger 146?
You can remove him.
No, can we not trigger, constitutional provisions to get him?
You see what I'm telling you? It's 11:44.
That is speculation. I don't want to engage in speculation.
No, but I'm saying that his office is
reality.
Yes, his office has conditions of service, pegged at that of the Court of Appeal, I think. The same will remove Charlotte Osei and
he's removable.
He is removable, but that's not the discussion. But to say that he cannot be touched,
I'm saying
that's
for
I'm not sure
7 years, he has a tenure of office.
Yes.
You can remove him.
Yes.
But on a basis.
On a basis.
Specified basis.
Exactly the case.
But now, you don't have that basis. And so until you have that basis, if you are not careful...
Listen, he's working for himself.
I'm not saying he's working for himself.
No, I said he could. He could, yes. So what was the way forward on this?
The way forward, in my view, very respectfully, is to consolidate the existing agencies.
So the constitutionality is still the way forward for you.
Yes.
The constitutionality.
I don't think.
All right. Great. All right.
The constitutionality.
Now let me come to.
You catch me. The constitutionality matter must be addressed, and I think the politicians should.
Okay.
But the issue of corruption is serious, and because of the importance of it, once we can all agree, even if you have a problem, let's work with what we have for now. Let's achieve the results that we need. Let's make sure that people realize that you cannot just rip this country and walk away.
You're not achieving
As you know, let's start. I mean, the process is starting. Let's give the OSP the benefit of the doubt. Let's keep our tabs on him. Make sure that he expedites his action. You understand? But we shouldn't now make the personality of his office now become the issue of kind of Oriata. We're not really discussing kind of Oriata. We're discussing personality. No. Kind of Oriata matter we are talking about.
I'm saying that. So yes, now let me come to you before I come to Nico. Will you say
wherever he is, please come, pray hard and come.
He will come.
And wear white.
He will come.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying that. Are you saying that the office of the special prosecutor, even though you have, difficulty with the office itself in terms of its setting up, etc., are you saying that it hasn't achieved anything in the past few years it's been set up?
So there's a factual issue. How many?
No, the mere mention of the office of the special prosecutor could make somebody stop doing something wrong.
The mere mention of
preventive.
No, so we had the OSP.
Preventive.
We had the OSP.
Yeah.
We have the Auditor General. We have Yoko.
Yes.
And we are alleging that NSS 2.2 billion is missing. They were there and we dug a hole, $96 million. They were there and what's called Hanan is being alleged to have acquired all these properties. They are there, and right now corruption has gotten to a level where it's become more than a canker in our. So and you see, and
but
I think
people are saying they are enjoying your show, pal.
You see, and
Senor is making your show.
And you see, when it comes to the whether or not the OSP is successful or not, I think it's a factual issue. It's not a matter of opinion. By now, we should be having a table. How many? It's just like a parking scheme. And also what happened.
Listen, I said it wasn't within the spending.
So that was the police.
It wasn't his spending.
My point is this.
No, wait. Relax. Nipa Kwazi had the same. No, Nipa Kwazi had the same. Wait. No, Nipa Kwazi had the same. All right, so
I say that.
No, but do you not agree that the OSP or whoever can go against Kenneth Furata with or without his presence?
No, I agree with him.
Okay, great.
But my point,
I raised the matter. You have to be
yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, but he supported it with 19-3.
But the other point is that the Auditor General, it's about time we give him prosecutorial powers.
Agreed.
Okay.
Because if there's one report that we can, the set charges
everybody can come around. Yeah.
Can come around. It's his office.
Why I even have a problem
You understand?
with the office of the special prosecutor.
The reason the OSP's office is a very relevant office because if for nothing at all, I think he should stop going after the low-hanging fruit, the teachers, whatever. That one there, I disagree with the payroll thing. The payroll, 10,000. No, when we had the whole that we could all see. You understand? You see, the whole idea is that he is supposed to go after
big fishes,
white collar.
Crime.
Clear acts of corruption. You understand?
No, but manipulating the payroll.
I think that we should even go ahead and give him a threshold. If the offense is not below maybe 50 million, he shouldn't even touch it. You understand? So that we leave those small things.
No, but
see,
but
the auditor.
How about on the surface? It looks like 2 million. But when you dig, look at the NSA matter. It started small, but
you give him a threshold. That if the matter is not about maybe 10 million, 50 million, 20 million, you don't have any business touching it. You understand? Then we can build so that his focus will not be almost like the tentacles everywhere, the octopus, everything, the petition. No. The OSP's office must public land everything. No. The OSP. The minimum is 20 million, 30 million. Then we know that, look, these are the fishes out there.
Casey is doing his job. Okay. He's working hard. It's also a constrained office. And
that is why you don't go after everything.
I agree. So I mean, let's all work with. Let's help shape the office because look, we have listen. Hold on. We brought in Martin Hamidu before God the man. What have we seen? So please, Casey is progress.
Yes.
So let's
but we can improve.
I agree. Let's help shape that office and let's make it be impactful as we desire it to be. things like what you are saying, I think is relevant.
Yeah.
He's in parliament. We should be looking at doing it. Either curing the constitutional problem, and also putting the parameters that make it effective. And empowering it, we should do that. But I beg you, democracy is dying. Confidence in it is dying. The data is showing it. And corruption is a major contributor to it. So don't take it. That's why I said, come Friday, I beg you, be fasting and prayer.
One more
Give
prayer.
us your Bible verse and wear your white and come and have faith.
On that note.
And come back.
On that note, we'll move on.
I had the services of my friend here. He's very good.
On that note, I mean, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll deal with the buffer stock matter, the AG raised as well, and he calls it the rumble in the jungle. We'll try and unpack that as well. This is a big issue on 97.3 City FM and on Channel 1 television. We'll be right back.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valix Lease, affordable document management solutions.
The alumni of Sweden Secondary School, SWESCO, invites you to the annual all-year group awards and dinner dance. Relive the memories, reconnect with friends. The Old Swesconians annual year group awards and dinner dance is here. Join us on November 1st at 5 p.m. at the beautiful Channel 1 TV Gardens in Tesano. For just 500 Ghana cedis per head, enjoy an evening of dinner, music, and nostalgia. Don't miss the reunion of the year. The Old Swesconians annual all-year group awards and dinner dance is on the 1st of November 2025 at 5 p.m. at the Channel 1 TV Gardens. Contact your year group or chapter president and get your tickets. Sempercum Optimus, always with the best. This November, something amazing is coming to Accra. Are you a farmer with fresh produce? Are you into fish farming, poultry, or livestock? Then get ready for the November edition of the AgriFair 2025. Yes, AgriFair 2025. It's happening on Friday the 28th to Sunday the 30th of November. It's happening at the A4 Southern Children's Park and it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. It's the ultimate weekend marketplace. From fruits and vegetables to poultry, livestock and fish to agro-inputs and processing machinery. All at unbeatable farm gate prices. Whether you're selling or buying, this is your chance to connect, trade and grow. Enjoy the freshest farm produce, sizzling kebabs, and a vibrant marketplace atmosphere all in one space. Register now and secure your spot. Call 0558-973-973 for more information. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM.
All right, you'll come back to this. Senyo will see is misbehaving here, being aided by Dikwaku. I think they are remembering their SRC days, but that's fine. So you're welcome back. We're looking at the AG or the buffer stock matters and the other alleged corruption cases in institutions like the NSA, etc. Billions of cedis going down the drain, and the Attorney General says is intent on getting to the bottom of it. Charges have been filed, etc. Now, let's hear the Attorney General, Dr. Ayini. He has revealed new details of alleged financial misconduct involving former National Food and Buffer Stock Company CEO Abdul Wahab Hanan. Speaking at a government accountability series organized by the Presidency Communications, Dr. Ayini said investigations uncovered a money laundering scheme involving suspicious transfers of over 40.5 million cedis through Saltina Enterprise, a company linked to the former CEO. He noted that the funds were moved to various individuals and entities, raising serious concerns about financial impropriety, abuse of office, and efforts to conceal the proceeds of crime.
The latest revelations by the Attorney General allege illegal money transfers made during the tenure of the former Buffer Stock CEO to various individuals, including his wife and former workers of the Buffer Stock Company, raising serious concerns about financial impropriety and abuse of office. The Attorney General says assets linked to the alleged financial crimes have been frozen.
While serving as CEO of Buffer Stock between 2017 and 2024, Mr. Abdul Wahab colluded with his wife, Faiza Seydou, Richard Sam, Head of Finance, Bismarck Ousu Boache, Finance Department, and Emmanuel Atta, Corporate Affairs Manager, and others to create an elaborate criminal enterprise that was used to steal and launder public funds from the Buffer Stock Company. Within the period between 2017 and 2024, Mr. Abdul Wahab, in concert with Richard Sam Asante and Bismarck Ousu Boache, orchestrated a transfer of 78,269,084 Ghana cedis and 4 pesos from the bank accounts of Buffer Stock Company to a private company linked to Hanan Abdul Wahab, his wife, and staff of Buffer Stock at Republic Bank and EcoBank. We have decided to charge Mr. Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Seydou, with stealing, conspiracy to steal, causing financial loss to the state, using public office for profit, obtaining public property by false statements, and money laundering. The charges will be filed on Friday, and I have the charge sheet, the draft charge sheet, which I am reviewing here for everybody to see, so that nobody goes to say that I have indicted somebody and I don't have charges. I have my charges ready.
The Attorney General says assets linked to the alleged financial crimes have been frozen.
We have frozen all the assets of Hanan that I have listed, including a 10 million Ghana cedis fixed deposit account at Republic Bank, Labone branch.
With expectations running high for prosecutions in the oral cases, the minister stressed the importance of allowing the judicial process to take its full course.
Oral reports are still coming into my office. Now, those who are pushing me to go to court and who are saying that by now convictions should have been obtained, I know you are Ghanaians, you have legitimate expectations of your government officials, including the president and the Attorney General. But we need to do a good job. Not that I will rush to court. Defense lawyers will come and raise objections, throw my case out, and then the same Ghanaians who wanted me to go to court expeditiously will now turn around and say that Ayine is an incompetent Attorney General. I was never an incompetent lawyer in private practice. I don't want to be an incompetent lawyer in public service.
All right, you're welcome back. So that is Attorney General. He says he doesn't want to be an incompetent lawyer in public practice because he was not one in private practice. So he wants to do a good job. Senor, yes, so we'll deal with this. But the talk is that go to court. What the public trial and things not helping.
Jesus.
Go to court. Why are you telling us all of this when you can just...
Who is he representing?
He's representing the people.
So imagine you have a lawyer who is representing you before you go to court. And let me talk. I said when you're a lawyer, and if you are representing your client, do you brief your client?
Oh, so he's briefing us.
Do you brief your clients?
I brief my clients.
Who are his clients?
His clients are the people.
So who should he be accounting and talking to? I commend Dominic Ayini for this great thing he's done. He has expanded the boundaries of our democracy and the principles of accountability and transparency. He explains to us, the people, because we, the people, are the ones who empower his office. We did not have these things before.
Those who are watching should stop criticizing and learn from the man. Please, you go to America. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, then they did the basketball and the Italian mafia thing. I was waiting. I wanted to understand the whole thing, and we were all being briefed. They say in court, they will show this. So you know what they are going to do in court and what the issues are. And thankfully, he had a charge sheet. They had charged the people. So I realized that was a very important part of it. That's why I was waiting to hear Dominic, to see whether you're also coming to just spew rumors at this stage or you're spewing substance. He has charged the people. He's not talking in the air. First of all, he came and told us that we are going to investigate these issues because we have preliminary evidence to suggest that there's something proprietary in this place. That's what he started. He's gone around now taking his time. This is professionalism at its excellence. And people don't know. Dominic is a PhD. Do you see him going around calling himself Dr. This, Dr. That? He didn't take his PhD from anywhere. Go and see. Proper school. Stanford. Proper school. Dominic, we are champion. Having said that, let's deal with the matter.
Yes. So that, I mean, the specific issues.
So I mean, we have dealt with the matter about this thing. We have to understand that it's part. The Constitution encourages our public the officials to engage in such public discourse, to be accountable to us, to report to us.
But what happens?
You understand?
If these are allegations. What happens? He says
they are not
all of
allegations.
No, they are allegations. He has
it
to
is
prove them
a charge.
Yes,
he has been put in court. First of all, it is public information.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the explanation and the commentary around.
Yes.
In the end, the person maybe comes up clean.
So when it comes, that person,
damage would have been done to the person.
There's no damage here that's been done to you or not done to you. When they charge you for something, you already have some kind of damage to you, or you cure yourself. Yeah. So that one is a default problem. And that is how the courts are. That's why they give us, through natural justice, our chance for us to also be heard. So you two can come and do your press conference and then speak your matter. It's not a problem. You understand? But you don't also have to, because we are not your clients. But you just want us to hear you. It's okay. But the person who is representing us, who is Attorney General, must speak to us. He must speak to us. So what he's doing is correct. I mean, there was something that was going on even before the case. People start claiming and questioning, because this is a matter of unexplained wealth, in effect. Yes. And people are trying to question Dominic Agyeman that he's living in a mansion and that, get your facts right. That man started living in that house, no be today. He built his life, no be today. Your OSP used to work in his firm. When you want to talk to people respectfully. Don't make unfair conjectures about people and their lifestyle. Dominic is somebody who is passionate about public service. And that's why you see him keep coming here. And I like the way he's being careful. He said he was not an irresponsible, an incompetent lawyer when he was in private practice. Yes. You know the number of major banks, locally and internationally, this man has been advising. You know how he's made his money? He didn't come here then and in 6 months went to buy property in some place like Airport Hills or not. He has been living in his house and he lives there peacefully. He doesn't go and carry soldiers there. You guys see there's only one policeman there. He's not afraid of anybody. Please. That man is a person you should respect for what he is doing. Let's support him his work. Buffer stock. The things that the buffer we couldn't find, you see that now we are finding it. And it is a big problem. I'm heartbroken because Hanan is also my friend. It's somebody I know. I mean, you know, so it's a very depressing thing. That is a place that should have been very impactful, and we've not really seen so much impact. Actually thinking that was either constrained by a lot of budgets.
He made a point that, I mean, Ayeni made a point that when our students were struggling to get food,
we had that. We definitely had those problems. So it is a matter that must be looked at and dealt with properly. Because the cost of this kind of activity, if true, are millions of lives, not 2-3 lives, not just a few thousand, millions of lives. A lot of students have suffered because of this, if it is true. So the matter must be looked at. And I think that it is legitimate that we also give Hanan some window in our minds, hear his case, and see how the matter, pans out. But at the heart of it,
denied the charges of the claims, really.
However the case, the issue of unexplained wealth has to be looked at seriously. And it's high time that the government and the politicians quickly take action if they have any meaningful
passion for the fight against corruption, which I've already indicated is threatening confidence in our democracy. I've shown you messages coming from people suggesting coups, benevolent dictator. Those who say this is, I beg you, you haven't seen one before. That's why you are saying that. We have to fix our democracy. So if the corruption is a matter, let's cure it. How all of a sudden, in all honesty, we live with our politicians. You get one appointment, and all of a sudden, things just change. Your children will leave UPS Legon and suddenly go to GIS. Meanwhile, your school fees and your salary, they don't match. You understand? An MP, you're an MP. What's your salary? You are netting 15,000 Ghana cedis or so. You have to pay everybody and their mother around you. And yes, still, you're able to create financial space to be able to start owning properties left, right. Meanwhile, we knew you were just a teacher before coming to the place. So what has happened? This asset declaration matter. How are we actually ensuring that we go back and account for it? Hanan is staying where he was. Where was he staying before? What economic life did he have? What declarations did he make? How come did he acquire this asset? What legitimate business activity did he undertake? Are his tax returns actually justifying these? And you know, while we are pointing our hands to the politicians, we businessmen to also start being honest. We all day inside. We all day inside. How is the politician making and reaping the state? He's working with businessmen. Self-start businessmen, political polypreneurs, as I call them. And yes, that's what we've become. So look, this unexplained wealth matter must go to everybody. Me, I think that, in fact, all of us sitting here, I'm sure at some point we will all find ourselves wanting, because we can't even account for all our assets properly, because we don't keep our records properly. But unexplained wealth, the laws must be passed. And I'm happy and proud that I sponsored the Attorney General's office about some 4 years or so ago, when I was running the Chamber of Bulk Distributors, for training on unexplained wealth. I don't know where that matter has gone. But unexplained wealth must be activated. Every single politician, every single private man, when we see the money you have, we have to match your declarations with your taxes. You understand? All of us sitting here, our skin will catch us, true, but it will be a good time for resetting. Match your assets, your declarations, come again and see what exactly has happened while you were in office. But politicians, the onus on them is even higher. The requirement of them should be even higher, because you are out there for public service, not for us, the public, to serve you. It's for you to serve the public. Have you served us? These problems are heartbreaking. All these people know you before you come to office. We all know you. Your neighbors know you. So when you come to Airport Hills and politicians are doing their things there in my neighborhood, it is not anybody, it is the Masons and then the foreman who do the concern that this person is honorable this, honorable that. I'm just telling you the truth. So very soon the concern will go out and people start questioning, how did you come by that wealth? What did you do? And people look at their lifestyles and see their struggles in it. And people will not be able to relate to it. That is why people are beginning to think that there should be a coup in this country. But
which is what we don't want.
Don't think like that. Face the democracy that we have now. It's our best chance of turning things around for us as a people.
Very well. Let me go to Nana. I'll come to Ni. So Nana, I mean,
Nana only have 30 seconds because he's the one who
Nana, how did we sit for all these rot to happen? The NSA, buffer stock, etc. Boards were there, audit committees of boards, etc. I mean, how did we sit for such rot to happen under our watch?
The very question you've asked is the very reason why the Attorney General has to tread cautiously with the facts he puts out. Because, you know, just as the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12.
Please.
No, it's not white.
It's not wearing white. It's not wearing white.
It's not white. So we are safe.
It's not wearing white. It's not wearing white.
It's okay.
I'm surprised. Because you, dear Kabada, you giving me one article on that conversation.
I'll come there.
Hey!
You see,
Dada,
we have the right to
address the issue.
You have to go to the Bible.
Address the issue.
But we have a right to everything. But not everything is beneficial.
That is
the questions.
N26. Not everything that's permissible.
That's
Allow. He's overwhelmed by the corruption in his party. Don't worry. Allow.
Look, that is why the Attorney General needs to tread cautiously, because there's always two sides.
The man has lost his voice
to an issue. And the Attorney General is not just the Attorney General. who is vested with prosecutorial powers. He's also the Minister of Justice, which means that he also has the constitutional injunction by way of obligation to ensure that individual rights are also protected. And so in putting out the facts, we have to be cautious. I believe that it would have been enough for the Attorney General to say that we are arraigning this person before court for the following charges.
And don't give the reasons.
And then give short, the brief facts brief facts as contained on the charges.
That's what he did.
Wait. I listened to the Attorney General. He did more than what you are suggesting. For instance, I heard the Attorney General say that even with these facts, I will succeed.
Yes, but he made a point about unexplained wealth.
Wait.
He made a point about unexplained wealth.
He said, I will succeed on a charge of abuse of office. See how confident he is.
No, but he has to be confident with his case.
I agree.
Shouldn't he?
But he should be taking a cue from his own experience. The Attorney General was the lawyer for Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings in Tagore when his case went to the Court of Appeal. Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings had been tried in the media.
He was not the lawyer at the High Court.
No, he was not the lawyer at the High Court. He had been tried in the media. Everybody in this country convicted him of drug trafficking.
But was it a lie?
I'm coming. He went to the High Court. When it was arraigned before the High Court, he was convicted. Dr. Dominic Ayeni became his lawyer at the Court of Appeal, and he succeeded in overturning the conviction. Now, Senor, please allow me.
Senor, allow him. No,
Senor. When the conviction is overturned,
it doesn't mean that you were not
what I'm talking about.
No, it doesn't mean that. The case was not properly made.
No, not necessarily. I mean,
so I'm just saying that's
not necessarily. No, wait. Senor, it's okay.
Why is my brother going on the way to?
That is the reason why. That is the reason why you have to be cautious in putting out facts as Attorney General. Because there are two sides to a story. There is going to be a judge who will listen to the two sides.
That's his job.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
He should talk about the money.
Listen to two sides.
So I mean, I'm saying he ought to have managed the facts. He put out too much facts. That
maybe he has more.
No.
Have you noticed Bafa has not quoted the Constitution?
No.
He quoted the Bible.
The reason why the Attorney General has to be cautious, particularly as Minister of Justice, is the constitutional right of the presumption of innocence.
Yes.
We know that. The forum where that person would have equal stature and right to protect himself is the courtroom. In the media, that person you are crucifying doesn't have the same stature, might not have the same hearing. It is the courtroom where those protections are available. And so when you have that,
how about the view that we are his clients? So he has to brief us, tell us what.
That is another reason why he has to be careful, because his clients will now begin to put pressure on him.
Of course.
Wait.
So you do a good job.
So you do a good job.
Yes.
Forgetting that you are not the judge. Forgetting that, look, forgetting that some of the things you hold that have made you come to that conclusion that you call irrefutable evidence may end up being even inadmissible. Look, I've said it on another platform. In the Republic versus Bafuboni case, Eugene Bafuboni matter, there was a statement, which was a confession statement, seemingly, that the court rejected as being inadmissible. I am sure that if Dr. Dominic Ayeni had gotten hold of that statement, he would have waved it to the whole of Ghana and said, I even have a confession statement. And so I am going to succeed in court. But when it went to court, the court said, this is inadmissible.
So your point is that The AG should be cautious.
It is because he is even speaking to the public that he has to be cautious.
That is why he has taken his time before coming to talk to us.
Great.
Let
me speak to Daniel Domelevo, who was part of the oral team and all of that. He joined us for just a few minutes. Okay, no, I hear he's not ready. When he's ready, we just take him for 3 minutes. Let me come to you before I go to the man in government.
Are you in government?
No, his party is in government. His party is in government.
He's in government.
No, his party is in government.
He's in government.
Wow.
Wait, let's listen to it.
Isn't the fact that Hanan, when he started his job, was taking 15,000?
Yes.
And when he was in, he was taking 28,000. Now,
let's do that together.
That's like 3-point-something million. And there's also not the fact that all the properties he's claimed to have, he has them.
One is 1.4 million.
Yes,
the one is in this area.
The salaries can never get 3-point-something unless you mean cities.
So
the 1.4 there is
dollars. Yes.
So the Anti-Money Laundering Act itself alone requires that Hanan needs to come explain to us.
There's reverse bidding there.
How he managed to acquire these properties. You see, we have a problem. I know my brother here has been saying, but it's real.
No, but my concern is how did we sit? Because there are boards, there are all these committees of boards. Yeah. They are internal auditors.
We have a political culture in this country that's very parochial. People enter into the politics now not because they love Ghana, not because they want to be part of a system that will build a strong state, not to be part of a system that will take care of the needs of the people. People enter into politics right now because they see Hanan, they saw him in Tamale, he became buffer stock, and suddenly he has what's called 1.4 million property. He stays at. He has a house at Chin Homes. He has properties all over in Tamale. You understand? So it's a problem. I know we can play the politics with it. We can play the law with it. And Masina here, in terms of the law, he's right. But at the end of the day, you have a situation where Ghanaians right now do not believe that people go into public service because they want to serve the state, because they want to serve them. And once that culture is first, once that perception grows, then the reports in Afrobarometer reports that say that people in Ghana right now don't mind a coup d'etat. Is frightening, and because of that, we are supporting the AG. Yes, we must be cautious though, but we are supporting. We need as a people because
very little has been said about unexplained wealth.
What is the matter?
Very little has been said about
the NSS issue. We all know them.
Yeah.
I was in MVP too. I was in MVP too. I was what's it called a police station chairman. I was in MVP too. We know how people.
So you know the thing has been going on.
No.
It's like he knew the people.
How people suddenly get some small position and then
they change.
You understand? And I think over the past 8 years, I know corruption has been there, but over the last, if I had an issue with Nana Akufo-Addo and the leadership of the MPP, not all the people, but with Nana Addo in particular and the leadership of the MPP, they sat down and allowed that parochial culture to and when we go to the Galamsey issue, the fact that there were two reports, one report from the Minister of Environment, another report from the CID on the Akuta mines, and Ronaldo came and told all of us that
there's nothing wrong.
At the time he was talking.
What do you mean at the time?
No, that's what he said. Anyway, let me talk to Domelevo.
No. I said that, please.
Let me talk to Domelevo. The kingpins. Mr. Domelevo, good morning. Welcome to the program. Pleasure to have you as always. We're just discussing these issues about. Right, I hear we lost him. All right. So now. We've listed all these people. I mean, how sure are we that we have a solid case that will go to court anyway?
I think that if you know Dr. Dominic very well, the privilege of teaching a number of us, he's been very meticulous, and I think that we cannot take pride in the fact that this is an Attorney General that is not rushing, despite whatever pressure you can bring to bear. Anytime he comes to give us any announcement of a prosecution, it is backed with some serious information that at least you can have some confidence that it can. I mean, we cannot predict what the judge will say, but we are going to see something in course of action. You understand that we can see something in court, and that for me, oh yeah, fine. You are entitled to deny whatever it is. Oh, but
it's okay. But he has a legitimate cause of action.
And the Attorney General has said he's going to present his evidence. For me, that is about the beauty of.
But they should advise themselves
quietly. The man has put down the facts. He has filed his charge sheet, and he is saying that come to court. In fact, this is an Attorney General is saying that let's do it day by day. You understand?
Yes.
Let's do it day by day. It is rather, of course, the defense lawyers have a right to but it is rather defense lawyers who are working out of court these days. You understand? What cases are all going? You get me? Something that didn't happen when the NDC time. I never saw one NDC official who was accused have his lawyers walk out of court. The worst they did was to file processes in the court. But they never abandoned the court to deal with the accused person on his own. There is a day of accountability. And so once you are there and the day has come, the Attorney General is focused, and he has promised us a series of, and he's listed the cases. That's the good thing about it. He's given us a list of the cases. He's told us the dockets that have been completed, and he's told us anytime he's ready with the charge sheet, he will come out. So you can track. So if after 2-3 months you don't hear for him, then you know that no, there's something wrong. So far he's going step by step. The case from the mathematical set case to the cathedral case, everything he's listed it. And so you are sure that by the time we are done, you will know. And at least you've heard the Minister of Information too. He's given the list of cases that are, the number of officials that are under investigation. I think Ghanaians should be very confident that that important electoral promise made by President Mahama of holding people accountable for how they spend their time in office would be important, because it is a very important message for those currently in government and those that have exited government, that the Ghanaian people know that at the end of your tenure, there must be some accountability.
Very well. And Mr. Domelevo, good morning. Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure to have you as always. I mean, in doing this discussion, one thing that comes clearly to me, perhaps, is the failure of internal auditors, the failure of the audit committee boards, etc. We're looking at the NSA, for example. Where were the auditors? Where was the board when all these monies were changing hands? The issue about the buffer stock, a lot of money transferred here and there. Audits couldn't track this. Where is the missing link? And also, the fact that a lot of these people appear to be enjoying unexplained wealth. There is no lifestyle audit system set in motion. Where have we gotten it wrong?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners as well as the panel you have in the studio. Where have we gotten it wrong? I have said time and again that wherever we have a system or an institution and there are no dire or serious consequences for misbehavior, impunity takes over. That is where we have found ourselves in the public service. Too often people get away with misbehavior or abuse of office or embezzlement of funds, etc. Very few are held accountable. So people feel emboldened that let me also try my luck. Maybe I may get it. And you see, the institutions or the structures put in place, which we call the internal controls, are so weak that it beats your mind how someone can go through all these steps and take the money. One of those which I've been calling for, which you just touched on, is internal auditors. They have a legal duty to ensure that things are done in accordance with the rules and regulations of the public service. So they provide internal assurance. Why do I keep talking about internal auditors? Because you see, if internal auditors are effective and efficient and independent of the institution, mind you, when I say independent internal auditors, some people get confused. They say in that case, you are talking about external auditors. And I said, no. Today, good practice, even the private sector, internal audit is being outsourced. If you ask the Pricewaterhouse, the Ernst & Young, etc., they do internal auditing for many corporate institutions. It is where the output goes that determines whether it is internal or external. The external auditor reports to shareholders or to parliament in the public service. But the internal auditor provides assurance to management. Therefore, it is necessary that we separate the internal auditor from the very person who is checking or controlling, supposed to ensure that that's the right thing. If the internal auditor's appointment, promotion, transfer, welfare, and everything depends upon the chief director or the principal spending officer, it is very difficult for the internal auditor to hold him or her strictly accountable. Hence, we are calling for the amendment of the Internal Audit Agency Act to make the internal auditors independent of the spending officers in many jurisdictions, in even Africa. The internal auditors belong to the agency. However, they play the role in the MDAs, just as the staff of Accountant General do not belong to the MDAs. They come from Accountant General, but they play their role. And the staff of the audit service, they don't belong to the MDA, but they come at the end to come and review or do the audit. The external auditor comes in and he has a very small window. Mind you, clause 2 of Article 187 requires that the Auditor General audits the entire country, the public sector. I mean, central administration, district, universities, hospital, everything must be audited. And clause 5 provides that this report must reach Parliament within 6 months after the end of the financial year. The Public Financial Management Act gives the MDAs 2 months to prepare their financial statement after the end of the financial year. So it's left with 4. Then the law, the PFM Act, again allows the Accountant General 1 more month, so to put the consolidated fund together. So the Auditor General has only 3 months window to do the audit, write the reports, etc., print it, and even printing, you remember, it must go through public procurement process. So you do all these things within 3 months and get to Parliament. Therefore, the external auditor's work is reduced to sampling. It is not a census. We don't look at everything. We sample based upon risk. So that is why I think if we strengthen internal auditors who are there 24/7, checking abuses and irregularities, I think it will help us very well.
Very well.
But then you have raised issues. Okay, go ahead.
Unexplained wealth and then lifestyle audit, just in 1 minute. How do we start?
To be honest with you, lifestyle audit is very important. Some of us are calling for strengthening the assets and liabilities declaration regime or the law which regulates it. If we do that, people will start hiding their assets and properties. Even without doing that, people are already hiding. You hear of children who have so much property, or people who have not worked, or people who work but their assets and what they earn, they don't match. So we need a lifestyle audit so that you can establish whether you obtain it rightly or not. But to be honest with you, the reverse burden is what I think we must put into our laws with speed. It is already in our laws. Some people say it is not. But if you go to Article 286, Clause 4, it says after your first assets and liabilities declaration and the subsequent declaration, if the growth in your properties is not in tandem with the sources of income or gift or whatever means, proper means we know of, then you have acquired those assets contrary to the Constitution. So I think we have that already embedded in our Constitution. We should expand it. Say that if Daniel earns only 20,000 a month, at the end of the year, he should get 240 minus what he spends. But he has 20 million already in his account. Then we say the prosecution should prove beyond reasonable doubt how he stole that money. It is not going to happen. That is the fear I have. And again, we need our legal framework to bring finality to these issues. We must put a time limit on how far or how many years or months that criminal trials, or especially those relating to economic crime and corruption, can be tried. I think if we learn from even Nigeria, the Supreme Court ruled that during criminal trials, there cannot be stay of proceedings. Proceedings must continue. And there are courts even in Kenya, etc., specifically dedicated to corruption and corruption-related issues. We must do that in Ghana so that we can retrieve the money. INA and Co are doing very well, but we are not interested in the cases being at court. It's not. We don't want to be in court. We want the monies recovered. So we should know we are going to finish this thing. Thank you.
Very well. It's a pleasure as always. Thanks so much, and that's how we conclude today's edition of the program.
Happy
Yeah. So let me say happy birthday to Andrews Anate Kett. So that's from Senyo and the squad. Have a good one. Thanks so much for joining us today. Nana Ej Bafo Ewa MP, Mensura South MPP, Dipako Sama Ado, member of the NDC legal team, Senyo Hosi, as always, convener, One Ghana Movement.
Are you?
Andrew Appiah Dankwa, legal director of the UP, I don't say UP tradition, of the UP party. Yeah. And then, of course, we had Daniel Domolebo, former Auditor General. My name is Selam Adonu. Thanks so much for listening. Catch you soon.